Douluo, I am the ice archer, my ice power is invincible. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author, we do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101 Sneak Attack, Breakthrough. Douluo was so angry at Xiao Han that a powerful aura was released from him, which instantly touched Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo. But he was surprised to find that his tentative mental attack could not suppress the two people. After being injured, he could not exert his full strength. An unprecedented sense of frustration surged in his heart. Douluo was stunned and suddenly thought of the 50,000-year-old spiritual skull awarded by the Soul Master competition. The skull was of excellent quality and contained a huge amount of spiritual power. It was a treasure that everyone dreamed of, and it eventually fell into Xiao Han's hands. At this moment, Douluo realized that Xiao Han had absorbed the spiritual skull. No wonder his spiritual power became so powerful. Xiao Han, I underestimated you. It seems that you have already merged with his spiritual skull. Douluo's eyes flashed with greed. He already had a head soul bone. If he killed Xiao Han, he could take the soul bone on Xiao Han's head and give it to her granddaughter Du Guyan. Douluo snorted coldly. Douluo is injured, and a long-term war of attrition will put him in a more disadvantageous situation. If it were an ordinary soul master, he would have been submerged by the overwhelming ice cones. Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo were very fast, and they had been here before, so they were not unfamiliar with the terrain here. Whoosh! Xiao Han's eyes flashed with a cold light, staring at Douluo closely. Seeing this, Douluo was surprised and happy, thinking in his heart, his offensive became more and more fierce, and each blow carried a deadly force, intending to fight quickly and get rid of Lin Zhiruo, a difficult opponent first. However, Lin Zhiruo showed a tenacity and strength beyond his expectations. It was not until the blood and green venom gushed out that the huge body involuntarily rolled up. The giant python, swimming in the air at a high speed, as if it had life, opened its huge mouth and rushed straight towards Xiao Han. He knew that his poison attack was useless against Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo, so he used his second soul skill that had attack power other than poison elements. Those ice cones were sharp and dense, each of which flashed with a cold light and carried a piercing chill. The moment the invisible arrow touched the giant python's body, it burst out with extremely powerful energy, directly penetrating the seemingly indestructible scales, leaving a fist-sized hole. Douluo cursed in his heart, but he had to admire Xiao Han's wit. It was Lin Zhiruo who launched the attack. Next, he would launch one of his unique skills, the skull skill, Medusa's Gaze. Xiao Han clearly saw that the giant python's eyes had turned white. His spiritual skull and right arm soul bone opened at the same time, and his right hand condensed an ice blue arrow, ready to launch a high explosive penetration at any time. He didn't expect that Xiao Han had reached the Soul Emperor level. The ice blue arrow hit the giant python, and a roar broke out. Just as Douluo was about to launch another attack, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo suddenly swooped down from the cliff. Then, a giant python formed by soul power appeared out of thin air, entwining Xiao Han with a whistling sound. The environment there was also a great threat to him who was injured. Douluo, who was furious, endured the pain in his body, suddenly turned his head and swooped towards Xiao Han. This 60,000 year soul skill has a high explosive penetration effect. With a joint amplification of the skull and right arm soul bones, the power can be increased to 300%, and it is silent. This is the first time that Douluo has launched a defensive skill in front of a Soul Douluo level opponent, and he is furious. They are going to move the battlefield to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Thinking of this, Douluo's eyes became more sinister, and the soul power fluctuations around him became stronger. When he saw the 6 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and black on Xiao Han's body, Douluo was shocked again. I'll kill you first, then I'll kill that little one. In order to save soul power, he activated his right arm soul bone. A surge of power suddenly erupted, and a pungent smell suddenly filled the air. Little bastard! How dare you sneak attack me? You're looking for death. Finally, taking advantage of Douluo's brief respite, Xiao Han released the bowstring in his hand. His eyes focused, and his entire right arm suddenly turned ice blue. He pulled the bowstring to its full length and shot an arrow at the giant python. This kid is more cunning than Tang. Green energy blades emanated from the giant python, pointing directly at Lin Zhiruo in the air. This is Douluo's second soul skill, Iron Python Strangling. This kid actually has another soul bone on his body. Did he also fuse that right arm soul bone? Faced with this sudden attack, Xiao Han did not panic. The battle between the two sides became more and more intense. In critical situations, you can distract Douluo by destroying those herbs, or attack him with extremely cold and hot poisonous spring water. The jade-scaled snake is not a flying soul beast. When fighting in the air, Lin Zhiruo, who released the Icebird martial soul true body, has a greater advantage in speed. Ice cones fell on the light shield like raindrops, making dense collision sounds and stirring up circles of ripples. Damn it! If I wasn't injured, how dare you, a soul Douluo, be so presumptuous in front of me? Boy, do you think I don't know your little tricks? Too naive. Before the voice fell, Douluo's soul power surged, and the second soul ring suddenly flashed. The seventh soul ring on his body suddenly flashed, and Douluo instantly released a martial soul true body, turning into a 30-meter-long green giant python. Douluo did not dare to be careless and quickly used the fifth soul skill, Snake Python Xiangang Shield. While Douluo was stunned, countless ice cones came towards him from the sky above his head like a meteor shower. Douluo could feel that although those ice cones failed to penetrate his defense, the power contained in them should not be underestimated. Lin Zhiruo is an ice element extreme flow soul master, and the power of ice is extremely domineering. Boom! A layer of green light instantly enveloped Douluo in the blink of an eye. Douluo did not even feel the pain. A mere 100-year soul skill, is it worth it? The moment Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo landed at the bottom of the valley, they simultaneously released their soul rings and entered combat mode. Xiao Han was not idle either. He knew very well that once Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo entered the range of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, he would be in a passive position. Seeing the two people suddenly rushing to the bottom of the valley, Douluo felt something was wrong and hurriedly flew to chase them. He had to distract himself to protect the herbs from being damaged. A month ago, Xiao Han was still a fighting soul king. Lin Zhiruo was not to be outdone and released her martial soul true body, launching ice blades to fight Douluo. Xiao Han's attack was somewhat similar to the invisible arrow of Guangling Douluo, which made Douluo feel terrified. Obviously, Douluo's skull had been released. Mom, let's go down. This is Douluo's 10,000-year defensive soul skill. During the whole process, Xiao Han did not use any soul ring skills. Xiao Han's counterattack did not stop. While constantly changing his position, he shot several arrows at the giant python, freezing it to pieces. There are not only the medicinal herbs that Douluo cherishes very much, but also the extremely cold and hot yin-yang eye spring water. Chapter 102, Suppression of the Dragon Soul. Lin Zhiruo is a spirit master of the agility attack system, and her spirit has an excellent flying ability. Moreover, she has taken the 9th grade purple fungus and a fairy grass that can increase speed, so her speed is not inferior to Douluo at all. Douluo, who is already injured, did not take any advantage, and was successfully attacked by Xiao Han. Douluo did not expect that Xiao Han, a spirit master at the level of Spirit Emperor, could have such a powerful attack. Even in the state of Spirit True Body, the hard body of the green phosphorus Snake King was penetrated. Using special skills to deal with the Spirit Emperor is an insult to the reputation of the title Douluo. But at this time, Douluo could no longer care about so much, he just wanted to kill Xiao Han. Xiao Han was standing next to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, ready to deal with Douluo's attack at any time. Sure enough, two white lights burst out from the eyes of the huge green-scaled Snake King, pointing directly at Xiao Han. That was Douluo's skull spirit skill, Medusa's Gaze. Although Douluo struggled to break free from Lin Zhiruo's ice, the price was heavy. Douluo's voice became hoarse due to anger and pain. It's the clone, Douluo's voice echoed in the valley, with unquestionable determination. This is Douluo's 8th soul skill, Time Freezing. The Ice and Fire Dragon Kings were both god-level soul beasts in their lifetime, and the green phosphorus Snake King was nothing in front of them. Douluo's attack could not work on it, and he had wounds on his body, so he didn't dare to approach the spring easily. At the moment when the two rays of light hit, Xiao Han jumped and plunged into the ice and fire yin-yang eye spring. The rocks fell into the spring, instantly causing huge splashes. Lin Zhiruo's soul power surged all over her body, and a powerful breath burst out from her body. Boom! His eyes were red, as if they were about to burn, and his whole body exuded a resolute breath. Douluo was not sure whether the motionless ice shadow was Lin Zhiruo's real body or clone, or whether Lin Zhiruo had already put away the ice shadow clone, which was her real body. Those herbs were the result of his years of hard work. Even if there was only a trace of dragon soul in the dragon bone at the bottom of the spring, it was enough to suppress Douluo's green phosphorus snake king. Douluo suddenly felt his body become heavy and fell towards the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Seeing this, Douluo's pupils shrank suddenly. Even if it destroyed the yin-yang eye of ice and fire and the surrounding herbs, he would kill Xiao Han. Douluo's powerful soul power exploded instantly, and the surrounding rocks shook, and then large pieces broke apart and rolled towards the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Lin Zhiruo floated in the air and attacked Douluo again. The ice blade attack launched by Lin Zhiruo actually stopped in the air in an instant, and even the ice shadow stopped with it. A green energy blade slashed out from his left hand and hit the ice shadow accurately. Facing the powerful petrification attack, Xiao Han did not panic. For Xiao Han, the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire were like a guardian. Douluo roared. However, in order to get rid of Xiao Han, he had no time to care about anything else, and only cold killing intent remained in his eyes. Do you think you will be fine if you hide in the spring? Then let this place be your burial place. And destroy it together. The ice shadow clone looked exactly like Lin Zhiruo herself. Douluo was shocked. He didn't expect that the fatal blow he had carefully arranged would be successfully avoided by Lin Zhiruo. A layer of hard ice wrapped up the 30-meter-long green python without any warning. The ice shadow clone has 100% of the attack power of Lin Zhiruo's first 6 soul skills, but it has no independent consciousness and needs to be controlled by the main body. The huge body of the green phosphorus snake king transformed into Douluo himself again. As more rocks fell, the surging of the spring water became more and more violent. Those precious herbs were crushed into a mess by the boulders. Scales fell off the giant python, and it trembled in pain. Everything around her stopped in midair, and the air was frozen. With the shining of the 8th soul ring, her figure blurred instantly. Except for the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, everything in the valley was frozen and completely prohibited. A strange scene appeared. He was very puzzled. Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo seemed to know all his soul skills very well, and they could avoid them every time. This soul skill is powerful and can completely lock the time within a radius of thousands of square meters in an instant. A strange scene appeared. The 2 petrified rays followed Xiao Han's figure. The cold ice swept around, and there was no other ice shadow. Go to hell, Xiao Han, let's see how long you can hide. The 2 ice shadows attacked Douluo at the same time. Although Medusa's gaze has a powerful long-range attack effect, it consumes a lot of Douluo's mental power, so he will not use it easily. Just now, he only wanted to kill Xiao Han, so he used this fatal blow. The giant python swung its tail, tumbling wildly in the air, breaking through the ice. She and Xiao Han had long expected that Douluo might fight them to the death. Douluo raised his snake head, and a green bead spewed out of his mouth. The cold air entered the body along the wound on the giant python, and quickly froze the blood around the wound. The 8th soul ring lit up from Douluo's body, and a ball of rich black light was released from the giant python, instantly turning it from green to dark green. That was Lin Zhiruo's ice freezing skill. The 2 ice shadows were as fast as lightning, shuttling in the air at a high speed, and he couldn't tell which one was the real body for a while. Douluo never expected that as a titled Douluo, he would be frustrated in front of 2 juniors. Xiao Han had long expected that the ice and fire yin-yang ice spring water could restrain all of Douluo's soul skills. Once touched by the spring water, the consequences would be disastrous. The ice shadow on the left turned into an ice blue stream of light, going straight for Douluo's vitals. Just as Douluo was about to launch another attack, an extremely strong chill suddenly hit him from above his head. Facing the 2 ice shadows attacking from both sides, he had to do his best to deal with them. Although he was a titled Douluo, after a series of setbacks, Douluo no longer dared to underestimate Lin Zhiruo. The ice shadow on the right also stabbed Douluo with lightning speed. The spring water seemed to be enraged and began to churn violently. The air around him suddenly condensed, as if the entire space was solidified. The petrifying light did not petrify the spring water when it touched the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Because the bones of the ice and fire dragon kings were buried at the bottom of the spring. Boom! Douluo was suspended in the air, holding the emerald green bead in his right hand, staring coldly at the ice shadow solidified in the air. Douluo's heart was bleeding. Unexpectedly, Xiao Han managed to dodge it. Then, an icy shadow clone that looked exactly like Lin Zhiruo suddenly appeared beside her. The moment it was hit, the icy shadow disappeared out of thin air. Chapter 103, killing Douluo and shattering him to pieces. Casting the time freeze consumed a lot of Douluo's soul power. In a short period of time, he could not cast this soul skill again. At this time, Lin Zhiruo, 1,000 meters above the valley bottom, was ready to go. Xiao Han, who was in the ice and fire yin-yang ice spring, had already pulled the bowstring. The frozen space was terribly quiet. Douluo could only hear his own breathing. A strong sense of crisis suddenly surged in his heart. Douluo quickly looked around, trying to find Lin Zhiruo's trace. However, there was no breath of other living things except the still air and the frozen light and shadow. At this moment, a subtle but extremely clear sound of wind broke through the frozen silence, which was particularly harsh. Douluo's pupils shrank suddenly, and he saw a scarlet light and shadow passing through the frozen space. What is that? It actually broke my time freeze. It was the snow-colored swan kiss that could amplify the poison thousands of times. Xiao Han released the bowstring again, and countless arrows pierced through the snow-colored swan kiss like raindrops, carrying those scattered petals and attacking Douluo at an astonishing speed. This was the greatest shame of his life. Facing this sudden attack, Lin Zhiruo retreated while quickly opening her defense, and her body was instantly wrapped in a layer of hard blue ice. Xiao Han used his indestructible body in the defensive state to block the attack of hundreds of bone-melting needles. He gritted his teeth and tried his best to maintain his defensive posture, but his body was like a raging sea, and the alternating pain of cold and heat almost suffocated him. This was also one of his trump cards, and he originally planned to use it to deal with his old rival Yu Guan. This was the mother and son soul-chasing gall that Tang San gave him, which contained strange poisons and mechanisms and was extremely powerful. An ice-blue arrow cut through the sky, rushing over with a whistling sound. However, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo's attacks did not stop. If you dare to hurt Xiao Han, I will kill you. Mom, be careful. With the amplification of the right arm soul bone, its power reached an even more terrifying level. Lin Zhiruo was completely furious. Her figure was like an arrow from a bow, passing through the purple poisonous fog and chasing Douluo at this moment. Douluo was like a trapped beast in an ice crystal cage. He never thought that he, a powerful titled Douluo, would be forced to this point by a soul Douluo and a young soul emperor. Above his head, Lin Zhiruo's attack not only did not stop, but came even faster. Suddenly, the ice and fire yin-yang ice spring water surged, and the moment Xiao Han broke through the water, he released a fully drawn bowstring. Is that Douluo's skull? A dark green light fell towards the bottom of the valley like a falling meteor with the ice chips and blood mist. There were no arrows, only dense raindrops intertwined with milky white and vermilion. But her defense was not enough to resist those bone-melting divine needles made of special materials with extremely strong penetrating power. He struggled hard, trying to break free from the icy bondage. Boom! Douluo's body was instantly blown to pieces by the impact of this force, turning into ice chips and blood mist all over the sky. Damn it! The second soul skill, thousands of arrows, shot out instantly. At the same time, the bowstring was released again. And a silent arrow carrying snow-colored swan kiss petals hit Douluo, who was about to launch a sneak attack. The dense rain of arrows surged like a raging wave. At this moment, the spirit skull and the right arm soul bone were opened at the same time. With the release of the right arm soul bone, Xiao Han's body was wrapped in a layer of crystal-clear ice, like an ice crystal armor. Douluo's injuries became more serious in this battle. A flawless white flower floated towards Douluo in the poisonous mist. Hundreds of bone-melting needles as thin as cow hair were hidden in it, quietly shooting towards Lin Zhiruo. At the moment of catching up with Douluo, a powerful icy force instantly erupted, freezing Douluo. But the rain of arrows that merged the ice and fire yin-yang ice spring water directly penetrated the dark green light shield and pierced into Douluo's body. Douluo's face changed drastically when he saw this. Douluo suddenly felt a sharp pain. At this moment, he was caught in the double attack of ice cones and rain of arrows, and there was no escape. The two iron balls collided rapidly in the air and exploded. A layer of dark green light instantly wrapped around his whole body, as if he was covered with an indestructible armor. Ding-ding. Looking down, Douluo reacted quickly. Their goal was clear, to kill Douluo and eliminate future troubles. The cold arrows penetrated Douluo's frozen body and hit his vitals. He was covered in blood, his soul power was almost exhausted, his face was as pale as paper, and his eyes were full of despair and unwillingness. He flashed and flew high into the sky, trying to avoid the overwhelming attack. The space and time he had spent a lot of soul power to solidify collapsed instantly under the impact of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Xiao Han stretched out his body and flew towards the gradually dimming dark green light. But Lin Zhiruo had almost exhausted all her remaining soul power to make the layer of ice extremely solid. Douluo suddenly exerted his strength and rushed towards Lin Zhiruo above his head, his eyes flashing with determination and fierceness. With a sound of roaring, a thick soul-bewitching poisonous fog instantly spread, dyeing the entire space with a strange purple color. On each invisible arrow, the extremely cold, hot and highly toxic spring water of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire poured towards Douluo like a rainstorm. The fifth soul skill, the snake python Xiangang shield, was launched with a bang. With a loud bang, the power of ice and explosion intertwined, producing a shocking energy wave, and the surrounding space became distorted. A flash of fear flashed in Douluo's eyes. In desperation, he could only start defense. At this moment, it seemed that he was on the verge of life and death. Just when he thought he could temporarily avoid the sharp edge, the sky above his head suddenly became gloomy, and dense ice cones poured down, light covering the sky and the sun. At this critical moment, a blue-gold figure blocked Lin Zhiruo. A scream came from Douluo's mouth. That was Lin Zhiruo's full-strength attack in the state of martial soul true body. At the moment of life and death, he no longer reserved any means. With a wave of his hands, two iron balls, one large and one small, cut through the sky, with a whistling sound, thrown towards Lin Zhiruo accurately. The entire valley bottom has become a frozen world. It's the spring water of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Then, the dark green light and shadow soared into the sky and fled to the top of the mountain. The person who came was Xiao Han. That was Xiao Han's fourth soul skill, the ice explosion arrow. Douluo knew the power of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire spring very well, and did not dare to be careless. He had heard from Tang that the snow-white fairy grass that was plucked from the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire was fatal to him. Facing this sudden change, Douluo's heart trembled. But now he had to use it. The ice cones fell on the light shield like raindrops, making dense and crisp impact sounds, but failed to break Douluo's defense. The entire valley floor seemed to be covered by an endless rain of arrows at this moment. Chapter 104, Ice and Fire Dragon King Bone. Xiao Han quickly approached the dark green light that was about to fall into the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, and stretched out his right hand to absorb it into his palm. A gloomy breath spread along Xiao Han's arm. It was the terrifying power condensed from Douluo's lifelong poisonous essence. In order to resist the backlash of the green phosphorus snake venom, Douluo forced all his own toxins into this head soul bone. Xiao Han has a body that is immune to all poisons, so he was not hurt by this poison. Lin Zhiruo also landed at the bottom of the valley. Xiao Han, is this Douluo's head soul bone? Yes. This head soul bone gives Douluo a powerful petrification skill, but it contains the poison condensed by Douluo during his lifetime. We have to find a way to force the poison out before it can be fused. Looking at the soul bone, Lin Zhiruo felt a little regretful. This is indeed a head soul bone of good quality, but it is a pity that it is contaminated by toxins. Douluo has reached the realm of tidal Douluo and is well known in the Soul Master world for his poisons. Even he himself has been attacked by the toxins in his body. It is too difficult to dissolve the poison in this soul bone. Xiao Han smiled disapprovingly. Mom, maybe I have a way. What do you have? Your body is immune to toxins and may be able to absorb this head soul bone, but you already have a soul bone in the same position. Xiao Han pointed to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Mom, the answer is at the bottom of this spring. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? Douluo's attacks cannot enter this spring. Whether it is the petrifying light or the solidification of time and space, they have no effect on this pool of spring water. Therefore, I can only be safe by hiding in the spring water. I guess there may be some powerful force at the bottom of this spring that can restrain Douluo. Lin Zhiruo widened her eyes and looked at the pool of spring water that had calmed down. She was half believing and half doubting what Xiao Han said. Xiao Han took out a few herbs and handed them to Lin Zhiruo. Mom, you've worked hard in the battle just now. Your physical and spiritual strength have been almost exhausted. Eat this dragon zhi leaf, It can help you recover your physical strength. Yes. Douluo is dead, and the biggest threat to us has been eliminated. It's worth it no matter how hard it is. Lin Zhiruo felt fortunate. If Douluo hadn't been injured by Guangling Douluo before, if it weren't for the poison-killing Yaoxiang Kilo Xianping and the ice and fire yin-yang ice spring water to restrain Douluo, then the mother and son would never have been able to kill Douluo. Douluo is dead, and this quiet valley is temporarily safe. Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo took the dragon Zhi leaf, and then sat down to practice and recover their physical and spiritual strength. As the sky gradually darkened, both of them recovered to their best condition and replenished some food and water. Xiao Han looked at the ice and fire yin-yang eye. In the previous battle, Douluo tried to destroy it, and a large amount of rocks fell into it, but they were quickly dissolved and sank to the bottom of the spring. The flowers and plants around were in a mess. Mom, I just saw light coming out from the bottom of the spring. Maybe there are some rare treasures buried at the bottom of the spring. I want to go down and take a look. Lin Zhiruo was a little worried. Xiao Han, this pool of water is so deep that you can't see the bottom. Isn't it too risky to do this? Don't worry, I'll go down and explore first. If the situation is not right, I will go ashore immediately. Okay, you must be careful. I'll be on guard. Well, this spring water is poisonous. Don't get too close. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he jumped into the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. Lin Zhiruo stood on the shore and waited, both nervous and expectant. Xiao Han fearlessly dived to the bottom of the spring. Time passed by minute. Xiao Han dived deeper and deeper, and the spring water became dimmer and dimmer. I don't know how long it took. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly became bright. Two rays of light were reflected in the spring water below him, containing extremely majestic energy. One was as hot as fire, as if it could burn everything. The other was icy cold, as if it could freeze everything. They were like the spring water of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, clearly separated and not interfering with each other. Xiao Han was very excited. I'm almost at the bottom of the spring, and there are indeed dragon bones. Xiao Han continued to dive deeper along the intersection of the two rays of light. As he continued to go deeper, the two rays of light became more and more dazzling. Two forces, one fire and one ice, one yang and one yin, formed a delicate balance at the bottom of the spring, jointly guarding this area. Xiao Han was in it, as if he was involved in an ancient and mysterious battlefield, and he was in awe. He felt that the two powerful forces seemed to have a strange nourishing effect on his body. Being in this deep spring, he did not bear much pressure, but felt a sense of comfort. Finally, Xiao Han came to the bottom of the spring, and his eyes suddenly opened up. Two huge piles of bones and remains came into view. It was the dragon bones. The two piles of dragon bones in front of him were huge, exuding an ancient and mysterious atmosphere. They lay quietly at the bottom of the spring, as if they had crossed countless years and witnessed the vicissitudes of this continent. The two piles of dragon bones were less than 20 meters apart, and together they maintained the stability of this area. The two dazzling lights came from these two piles of corpses. Xiao Han slowly approached and looked closely. He saw two fist-sized objects emitting blazing red and milky white light, lying quietly in the center of the two piles of huge corpses, as if they were the last essence left by these two behemoths. They not only emitted dazzling light, but also had an indescribable pressure that made people feel awe. Is this Dragon Ball? Xiao Han was surprised. The two spheres that flashed completely different lights were the essence of the Ice and Fire Dragon Kings, and seemed to contain a trace of dragon soul. Xiao Han swam carefully to one of the piles of dragon bones. He stretched out his hand, and his fingertips gently touched the dragon ball with a blazing red glow. A warm current instantly flowed into his body, rushing through his blood. The powerful force seemed to burst his body. He quickly retracted his hand. Then, Xiao Han swam to another pile of dragon bones and tentatively touched the milky white dragon ball. A chill instantly swept through his body, as if his entire soul was frozen. Xiao Han knew that the energy of the two dragon balls was too strong. He had to combine them at the same time, like taking the 8-angled black ice grass and the fiery apricot delicate shoe to achieve a balanced effect. So, he stood in the middle of the two piles of giant dragon corpses, stretched out his hands, concentrated his soul power, and tried to track the two dragon balls. Under Xiao Han's traction, the two dragon balls slowly left the giant dragon corpse and moved closer to him. He felt that his soul seemed to be frozen, but in a flash, he was warmed by an inexplicable force. The power of ice and fire gradually formed a balance around his body, and the 2 Dragon Balls fell into his left and right palms at the same time. Chapter 105 Evolution, Ultimate Ice. Xiao Han held the 2 Dragon Balls tightly, feeling the power of ice and fire they released. These 2 completely different energies reached a balance at this moment. Xiao Han didn't know how long he had been in this spring. Without time to think, he urged the soul power in his body and swam upstream quickly. As the 2 Dragon Balls were taken out, the entire bottom of the spring became dim. After losing the Dragon Balls, the corpses of the 2 Dragon Kings looked even older and more lonely, as if the years had frozen at this moment. Xiao Han looked back, and a feeling of awe surged in his heart. 2 Dragon Kings, I apologize for disturbing you. Lin Zhiruo was waiting anxiously on the shore. From dusk to dawn, several hours had passed. Seeing that Xiao Han had not returned for a long time, Lin Zhiruo couldn't help but have an ominous premonition in her heart. Just as she was anxious, the water surface suddenly had a strong wave. Then, Xiao Han's figure broke through the water. Xiao Han, Lin Zhiruo exclaimed. Then, she was pleasantly surprised to find that Xiao Han held a glowing round bead in each of his hands. The dazzling light released powerful energy. Just as Lin Zhiruo was about to approach, 2 invisible pressures were exerted on her at the same time, forcing her to retreat again and again. Mom, I'm fine now. The energy of these 2 Dragon Balls is too strong, please don't come close. Dragon Balls, yes. The corpses of 2 giant dragons are buried at the bottom of this spring. They seem to be at the level of Dragon Kings. These Dragon Balls are their essence, one is an Ice Dragon Ball and the other is a Fire Dragon Ball. Just as Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo were talking, a strange scene appeared. The yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, which were originally clearly divided, underwent earth-shaking changes in an instant. The spring water, which was once half like raging flames and half like frozen ice, now seemed to have lost its soul, becoming calm and ordinary, losing the shocking beauty of the interweaving of extreme heat and extreme cold. The surface of the water became dead silent, like a lifeless mirror, reflecting the gradually withering scene around it. The unique atmosphere that once intertwined heat and cold also disappeared, replaced by a dull and bleak atmosphere. The herbs that once grew extremely lush and colorful due to the nourishment of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire spring now seemed to have their vitality taken away and were no longer gorgeous. Some even began to wither and die, scattered all over the ground. The entire valley bottom was originally a secret place full of miracles and vitality, but now it fell into silence due to the departure of the Dragon Ball. Seeing the changes in the valley bottom, Lin Zhiruo felt incredible and couldn't help but sigh. How could this happen? Xiao Han explained, Mom, the strange landscape here was formed before because of the existence of these 2 Dragon Balls at the bottom of the spring. Now that the Dragon Balls are in my hands, the spring water has become ordinary water, so this is the case. I see, Mom, these 2 Dragon Balls are too strange and there is no place to store them. I plan to absorb them and use my body to carry their energy. After hearing this, Lin Zhiruo was a little worried. She could feel that the energy contained in the 2 Dragon Balls was extremely huge and seemed endless. Can Xiao Han's body bear it? If he is not careful, he may explode and die. Xiao Han saw Lin Zhiruo's worry and smiled. Mom, don't worry, I know my limits. Don't forget that I have absorbed the 8-angled black ice grass and the fiery apricot, which were nourished by the power of the 2 Dragon Kings. They restrain each other and form a balance in my body. The same is true for these 2 Dragon Balls. You see, they have formed a balance in my hands. Xiao Han knew that although the 2 Dragon Balls contained extremely huge energy, it was impossible for him to fully absorb them in a short time. It might take a long process, several years or even decades, just like absorbing the medicinal properties of the 8-angled black ice grass and the fiery apricot. It takes time. Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han from a distance. Indeed, the 2 Dragon Balls with completely different energies achieved an amazing balance in his hands and did not cause any harm to him. After thinking for a moment, Lin Zhiruo was relieved. Okay. Xiao Han, you have to remember that no matter what happens, I will be by your side. But you must be careful and cautious in the absorption process, and don't rush for quick success. Xiao Han nodded and said confidently, Don't worry, Mom, I know what to do. As he said that, Xiao Han slowly closed his eyes and began to try to guide the energy in the Dragon Ball into his body. When he took the 8-angled black ice grass and the fiery apricot, he had experienced the ice and fire world once. It was still not easy to experience it again. The ice and fire energy clashed in Xiao Han's body, and his body seemed to be torn apart. His face was sometimes as pale as paper, and sometimes as red as if it was dripping blood. But he always gritted his teeth and persisted, relying on his tenacious willpower and desire for power, step by step to integrate this power into his body. After absorbing the spiritual skull, Xiao Han constantly tried to condense the soul core during the practice, compress the mental power, and immerse it in the danshan. At this time, he was trying to use mental power as a guide to fuse the energy of the two Dragon Balls. Lin Zhiruo watched Xiao Han nervously from the side. She could feel the rising power in Xiao Han's body, and also saw his face twisted in pain due to the huge pressure. But she knew that this was the only way for Xiao Han to grow up, and it was a key step for him to become stronger. 7 days and 7 nights passed. As time passed, the light on Xiao Han gradually converged. He slowly opened his eyes. Feeling the powerful power in his body, Xiao Han felt an indescribable joy and sense of accomplishment. "Mom, I did it." What surprised Xiao Han even more was that under the interaction of the two Dragon Balls, his spiritual soul core actually condensed into shape. Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han, her eyes full of relief and pride. "Xiao Han, I knew you could do it." Xiao Han walked towards Lin Zhiruo and said excitedly, "Mom, remember the condensed soul core I mentioned to you?" "Well, what's wrong? My spiritual soul core has condensed into shape, and the energy of the two Dragon Balls is temporarily stored in my body. Maybe in the future, I can condense 2 other soul cores that complement each other." "That's great." Lin Zhiruo was also very excited. "Xiao Han, I can already sense the stronger aura on you. Your soul power should have increased a lot, right?" "Yes, it has broken through level 70. I can't sense what level it is now." "Level 70. It increased by 6 levels at once." Lin Zhiruo was amazed. Xiao Han continued, "It may be more than 6 levels, and it's not just the soul power that has increased significantly. The power of the two Dragon Kings of Ice and Fire is too strong. The power dispersed during the fusion process seems to have cleansed my body, tempered my soul rings and soul bones, and brought me an all-round improvement. Now, I have the ultimate ice." Chapter 106, Ice and Fire. Lin Zhiruo's eyes widened instantly, her face full of disbelief. The 4 words ultimate ice are the supreme existence for any ice attribute soul master, and are the highest realm they pursue throughout their lives. It not only represents the ultimate purity and power of ice attribute soul power, but also means that the soul master has reached the pinnacle in controlling the ice element. And Xiao Han, a young soul master, has actually touched this realm. How can it not be shocking? "Xiao Han, you mean, you have reached the realm of ultimate ice?" "Yes, mother. In the process of fusing the Ice Dragon Ball, not only did my soul power increase greatly, but my ice attribute soul power also made a qualitative leap. Now, I can initially control the power of ultimate ice," Xiao Han said, gently raised his right hand, and his palm spun slightly. A chill instantly spread, and the surrounding space was frozen. Even Lin Zhiruo felt a piercing chill. Looking at this scene, Lin Zhiruo's heart was filled with indescribable excitement and pride. Although Xiao Han's behavior always made her puzzled. But this tenacity and persistence is the key to his success today. When Xiao Han released his martial spirit and spirit rings again, a scene that shocked Lin Zhiruo appeared. The Xianbing bow and arrow became more solid, emitting a stronger cold breath. The first spirit ring, which was originally shining yellow, has now transformed into purple. 6 spirit rings of purple, 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 black, black, and black surround Xiao Han. Lin Zhiruo couldn't help but exclaimed, "The first spirit ring has become 1,000 years old. This is incredible." Xiao Han smiled and said, "Mom, it's not just the spirit ring that has transformed. My 2 spirit bones have absorbed the power of the Dragon King, and their age has also increased. The spirit skull has reached 60,000 years, and the right arm spirit bone has reached 70,000 years. As the energy of the 2 Dragon Balls is absorbed, they will continue to evolve. This is amazing, Mom. Let me show you something even more amazing." Xiao Han's eyes suddenly lit up as soon as he finished speaking. His 2 eyeballs changed color instantly, one was ice blue and the other was fiery red. The ice blue and fiery red lights were like 2 dragons coming out of the sea, roaring towards the sky, instantly tearing the surrounding space in half. The ice blue light was so cold that it seemed to freeze everything in the world. The fiery red light was so hot that it had the power to burn everything. The 2 powerful energies intertwined, collided, and merged with each other, forming a shocking spectacle, like a constantly flowing Tai Chi diagram. Within the range covered by it, the grass and trees withered instantly, and the water condensed into ice. Looking at the situation in front of her, Lin Zhiruo was shocked again. Xiao Han, is this a domain skill? Well, part of the energy of the two Dragon Kings has merged into my eyes, allowing me to have the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire and the yin-yang domain of ice and fire. My yin-yang eyes of ice and fire can see through all illusions, and can also shoot out the yin-yang divine light that combines the three attributes of ice, fire, and spirit. Listening to Xiao Han's description, Lin Zhiruo felt like she was dreaming. It was too unreal. After a long time, she came to her senses and looked at Xiao Han carefully. Xiao Han now has undergone earth-shaking changes in both his body and temperament, as if he had been reborn. Xiao Han has only absorbed part of the energy of the two Dragon Balls, and it is hard to imagine what he will eventually evolve into. Lin Zhiruo said excitedly, Xiao Han, you are so amazing now. Not only do you have the ultimate ice, but you can also control the power of the God-level soul beast. Your future achievements are limitless. I am proud of you, Mom. I have to thank you for your tolerance and cultivation of me over the years, as well as your meticulous care. I will be able to protect myself in the future, so you don't have to worry so much. By the way, this soul bone is useful. While Xiao Han was speaking, he took out the dark green soul bone from the storage device. Then, he placed the soul bone in his palm and wrapped it with his two palms. The ice blue and fiery red light flowed in Xiao Han's palms. In the blink of an eye, the green phosphorus snake king poison, originally condensed in the soul bone, was completely destroyed by the power of the two Dragon Kings of ice and fire and disappeared. The soul bone changed from dark green to crystal clear snow white. Xiao Han smiled and handed the soul bone to Lin Zhiruo. Mom, the snake venom in this soul bone has been completely removed by the power of the Dragon Ball. Now, you can absorb it. Lin Zhiruo carefully took the soul bone, gently stroked it, and felt the powerful energy contained in it. She was so excited that she couldn't express it in words. Before this, she had never owned a soul bone of her own. Xiao Han, you have brought me so many surprises, one after another. Am I dreaming? Of course not. Mom, you absorb it now, and I will protect you, okay? Then, Lin Zhiruo sat down and prepared to fuse the head soul bone. Xiao Han waited quietly by the side. Time passed by minute by minute. Lin Zhiruo opened her eyes again, feeling the changes brought by the head soul bone, and felt a little excited. Xiao Han, this feeling is so wonderful. Xiao Han was also very excited. Mom, your mental power must have improved a lot, right? Yes, it has directly crossed a realm. Great. What about your soul power? Has it improved? Lin Zhiruo smiled and nodded. It helped me break through the bottleneck of level 85, and also gave me a powerful skill, Ice Crystal Ray. Ice Crystal Ray? Is it a soul skill similar to Douluo's Petrification Ray? Yes, almost. Lin Zhiruo's eyes suddenly became deep and cold, like two cold ponds that have been frozen for 10,000 years. Then, two crystal clear ice crystal rays shot out from her eyes. Wherever the ice crystal rays passed, the air seemed to be cut apart, and the objects it touched, whether hard rocks or flexible plants, were instantly frozen into crystal clear ice sculptures. Mom, this soul skill is very powerful, almost like petrification. Lin Zhiruo smiled and nodded, gently waved her hand, restrained her soul power, and explained, my ice crystal light has a strong freezing ability. Even the soul power within the range can be frozen. Mom, this trick is powerful. I believe that it won't be long before you can be promoted to title Douluo. Lin Zhiruo smiled and patted Xiao Han's shoulder, her eyes full of love and pride. Xiao Han, if it weren't for the fairy grass and soul bones you gave me, I wouldn't have achieved what I have now. I have to thank you, Mom. We are a family. Why are you talking about this? By the way, you have broken through level 70 and can go get the next soul ring. Are you in a hurry? No hurry. Let's go back to the academy first, report to Binger and the others that we are safe, and then go to the frozen forest to find a suitable soul beast. Okay, I thought so too. Then, the two left the Sunset Forest and rushed to Xianxia City. Chapter 107, 100,000 Year Soul Beast. A few days later, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo returned to Xianxia City. After the Soul Master competition, Shui Binger and others could graduate from the academy. However, Shui Binger did not leave the academy. She chose to stay and work in the academy in the future. Xiao Han told her everything that happened in the past month and a half. Bibi was shocked to learn about Xiao Han's fantastic experience during this period. She didn't expect that Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo would join forces to kill Douluo, a powerful title Douluo. What's more, Xiao Han accidentally obtained the Dragon Ball of the Ancient Dragon, ushering in a reborn change and greatly increasing his strength. Xiao Han was about to go to the frozen forest to find a suitable soul beast, and Bibi also wanted to go with him. The environment of the frozen forest is more conducive to her cultivation. Xiao Han was packing up at home when he saw Lin Zhiruo coming back angrily. "Mom, what's wrong? The imperial family is really too much? I'm afraid they can't fulfill their promises." "What happened?" Lin Zhiruo sighed. "Emperor Zhu learned that you worshipped Guangling Douluo as your master, and the title he promised you may no longer be given. If I'm not mistaken, Ningfengzi and Yu Xiagang may also be involved in this matter." "Mom, I thought it was something else." "It's better if it's gone. Who cares about that shitty baron?" Xiao Han smiled disapprovingly, not caring at all. The Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect and the Xiandao imperial family are very close. Because of Ningfengzi's relationship, Yu Xiagang will naturally be valued by Emperor Zhu Yi. Although Xiao Han is the most promising young soul master in the empire, he is obviously not the same as them. He repeatedly seriously injured Shrek Academy students in the Soul Master competition, which invisibly offended Ningfengzi, Yu Xiagang and others. It is normal that he is not trusted by Emperor Zhu Yi. Of course, Xiao Han will not work for Emperor Zhu Yi. As a reborn, how could he willingly submit to an incompetent emperor? Power and money are external things to him. If he has strength, he will naturally have everything. However, this honor is the result of everyone's joint efforts, and the reward that should belong to the collective should still be taken. "Mom, we have won the championship of the Soul Master competition for the Empire after all, so there should be bonuses." "Right, well, the Academy received a one-time reward of 100,000 gold soul coins, and will enjoy royal subsidies every year in the future. In addition, each of our champion members this year, whether it is the team leader or the student, received an additional reward of 10,000 gold soul coins, total, plus the reward for entering the finals and the reward from the Spirit Hall. We have received nearly 300,000 gold soul coins in total, almost. With a royal subsidy, our academy will not have to rely too much on those wealthy and powerful nobles in the future." Xianshu Academy is one of the few high-level Soul Master academies open to civilians on Douluo continent. It needs to spend a lot of money every year to maintain the normal operation of the academy. Most of those funds are provided by nobles. Of course, they will not spend money in vain. Many young and beautiful girls in the academy married nobles after graduation. Some did it voluntarily, while others made helpless choices due to their own reasons. Douluo continent is a world where the strong prey on the weak. The nobles are not only rich, but also have huge power. They control the lifeblood of most ordinary people. Xiao Han also thought about changing the fate of the civilian girls in the academy through his own efforts. This road is very long, and it has just begun. The next day, Xiao Han, Lin Zhiruo, and Bibi set out from Xianshu City and headed for the frozen forest in the far north. 10 days later, they arrived at their destination. Xiao Han's sixth soul ring reached 60,000 years, so he had a higher requirement for the age of the seventh soul ring, which was close to 100,000 years, or even more than 100,000 years. 100,000-year soul beasts are not easy to find. Like soul bones, they can only be encountered by chance. Xiao Han knew that the three 100,000-year soul beasts, Xiao Wu, Titan Giant Ape, and Sky Blue Bull Python, were all in the lake in the center of the Star Dao Great Forest. In addition, there are also many 100,000-year sea soul beasts in the sea area of the Sea God Island. However, with their current strength, they are not strong enough to hunt those powerful soul beasts that live in groups. There are also many soul beasts of advanced age in the central area of the frozen forest, and most of them like to live alone. So, Xiao Han and his two friends came here. The three of them searched in the forest for a whole month, but did not encounter a suitable soul beast. Xiao Han was not in a hurry, and practiced with Bibi while searching. After this period of practice, Bibi's soul power has increased by one level, reaching level 58. The sun shines through the sparse clouds, sprinkling on the white snow in the frozen forest, adding a touch of warmth to this silent and vast land. The three of them walked through the forest on the snow that covered their ankles. While the three were talking, Xiao Han suddenly felt an unusual soul power fluctuation. Mom, there seems to be a powerful soul beast nearby. Yeah, I feel it too. Lin Zhiruo's expression suddenly became solemn. Shui Binger looked around vigilantly. Xiao Han closed his eyes and tried to capture the source of the soul power fluctuation. After a moment, his eyes suddenly opened and looked forward. Over there, let's go and take a look. Yes, the three of them spread their wings and flew quickly in the direction of the target. It's there, not far away was a frozen lake. As the three approached, the scene on the lake gradually became clear. On the seemingly calm ice, there was a huge creature crawling. It was a huge ice crystal black turtle. Its shell was 10 meters wide and covered with complex patterns. The thick shell flashed a dazzling blue light under the sunlight. Its eyes were closed, as if it was enjoying the warm winter sun. The powerful aura emanating from its body had a chill that penetrated the bone marrow. This power was undoubtedly the terrifying pressure that only 100,000-year soul beast could possess. Lin Zhiruo and Xiao Han looked at each other and felt the excitement in his eyes. Xiao Han, after a month of choosing, this is the soul beast you want, right, Mom, you still know me. Xiao Han's eyes were fixed on the huge creature. The ice crystal black turtle rarely goes out to forage, and it sleeps most of the year. Therefore, it is not common. This kind of soul beast has a hard iron shell, strong limbs, and sharp claws that can easily tear through the enemy's defense. Its strong defense and recovery ability enable it to continue fighting. It also has a powerful attack method and can release a powerful ice attack to freeze the enemy's actions. Such a 100,000-year soul beast is not easy to deal with. However, when Xiao Han saw it for the first time, he had already made up his mind to use it as his seventh soul ring. Chapter 108 The Power of the Ice and Fire Realm. The ice crystal black turtle seemed to feel the threat of Xiao Han and the other two approaching. Its eyes, which were originally tightly closed, suddenly opened, revealing two icy cold lights, like two dazzling sapphires inlaid on its huge head. Its body shook slightly, and the air around it seemed to solidify. A strong pressure surged out of its body, causing the surrounding snow to explode. Then, it slid on the ice at an astonishing speed, rushing towards the three people, bringing with it a series of harsh friction sounds and splashing ice chips. Be careful, Lin Zhiruo shouted, preparing to meet this sudden attack. Although the ice crystal black turtle was huge, it slid on the ice at an extremely fast speed, and it arrived in front of the three people in the blink of an eye. Lin Zhiruo released her martial soul without hesitation, and a strong cold air burst out from her body. The moment the soul ring flashed, a layer of hard ice instantly froze the huge body of the ice crystal black turtle. Boom, a loud noise. The ice crystal black turtle was indeed a 100,000-year-old soul beast. The powerful force that burst out from it directly shattered Lin Zhiruo's ice blockade. The long tail suddenly stretched out and swept towards the three people. Take off, the three people flew into the air at the same time. The ice crystal black turtle's attack did not stop. It opened its 2-meter-wide mouth and roared angrily. Sharp ice blades slashed out from the mouth, pointing directly at the three people in the air. Xiao Han's bowstring was already fully drawn. The sixth soul ring on his body shone. The spirit skull and the right arm soul bone were activated at the same time. The attack power of the sixth soul skill high explosive penetration increased to 300%. An invisible arrow with extremely strong penetrating power shot out towards the open mouth of the ice crystal black turtle. After all, the ice crystal black turtle was a 100,000-year-old soul beast with extremely powerful mental power. It seemed to sense the existence of the invisible arrow. At the moment when the invisible arrow was about to hit it, it retracted its head into its heavy shell. Ding! The invisible arrow hit the thick carapace, making a crisp sound. Although it failed to penetrate the carapace of the ice crystal turtle, its powerful impact still made the giant pause. Its huge body slid a distance on the ice surface, and the surrounding ice and snow were crushed by the force, raising a white snow mist. Seeing this, Xiao Han's eyes flashed with a trace of determination. Ordinary attacks are ineffective against it. It seems that I can only use special moves. Mom, Binger, get ready, we will fight quickly. Xiao Han swooped down and flew towards the ice crystal turtle. The momentum of his whole body suddenly rose, and two powerful forces surged wildly in his body. With Xiao Han as the center, a huge energy vortex suddenly unfolded and quickly enveloped the ice crystal turtle. That was Xiao Han's ice and fire domain. In the domain with a diameter of hundreds of meters, half was blazing flames, emitting suffocating high temperatures, the other half was cold ice, emitting a biting chill. The two intertwined to form a shocking picture. The flame and ice collided with each other, producing countless small explosions. Each explosion released an astonishing energy fluctuation, causing the entire space to tremble. The ice crystal black turtle felt this terrifying power, and a trace of fear flashed in its eyes. It tried to break free from the shackles of the ice and fire domain, but the invisible and powerful pressure made it difficult for it to move. The interweaving of flames and ice greatly reduced the strength of the ice crystal black turtle. The originally indestructible shell began to crack under the attack of the ice and fire. Seeing this, Xiao Han's eyes flashed with a trace of fierceness. He pulled the bowstring again. The sixth soul skill, high explosive penetration, was released again. Using the ice and fire domain consumes a lot of Xiao Han's mental power and soul power, but the power is also amazing. In this domain, his overall strength can be increased to 300%. When the spirit skill and the right arm soul bone are activated at the same time, the high explosive penetration has a 300% attack power. In this way, when this attack is performed within the domain, its power can reach 900%. A silent cold fire arrow went straight to the ice crystal black turtle. Although the ice crystal black turtle reacted quickly, it became slow under the suppression of the power of the two dragon kings of ice and fire. The cold fire arrow containing Xiao Han's full force shot at the back of the ice crystal black turtle. The moment the arrow touched the shell of the ice crystal black turtle, a deafening roar was heard. The huge body trembled violently under the powerful penetrating force. The shell, which was already full of cracks, finally couldn't bear it and shattered with a bang, turning into countless ice crystals that flew everywhere. The roar of the ice crystal black turtle echoed on the empty lake. The ice blade shot out from its mouth, flashing with a cold light, went straight to Xiao Han in the air. Xiao Han was agile, turning and moving in the air, cleverly avoiding those fatal attacks. A powerful force suddenly erupted from the body of the ice crystal black turtle, shattering the lake surface, and the cracks on the lake surface spread rapidly like a spider web. It tried to shatter the thick lake surface and escape into the lake. At this critical moment, Lin Zhiruo took decisive action. Her skill, the ice crystal light, was like two brilliant auroras, instantly descending on the huge body of the ice crystal black turtle. These two rays not only froze the 4 feet of the ice crystal black turtle firmly, but also re-solidified the lake surface around it that was about to collapse. Seeing this, Shui Binger also launched an attack without hesitation. She waved her wings, and countless sharp ice cones condensed in the air, like thousands of arrows, accurately piercing the back of the ice crystal black turtle that had lost its powerful defense. With Xiao Han's current soul power, it is not enough to support the ice and fire yin-yang domain for a long time. He has consumed a lot of mental power and soul power, and has to converge it. When the ice crystal black turtle was about to break free from Lin Zhiruo's ice crystal light, Xiao Han launched his fourth soul skill, the ice explosion arrow. The cold arrow accurately hit the cracked back of the ice crystal black turtle and penetrated directly into it. Boom! A deafening explosion. The surrounding space seemed to be torn apart by the huge shock wave. The ice crystal black turtle let out a shrill wail, and its huge body trembled violently under the impact of the explosion. The cracks on its back completely collapsed. Even so, its entire head was still hidden in the huge shell. Xiao Han did not give it any chance to breathe and shot another ice explosion arrow. With a dull roar, the thick shell of the ice crystal black turtle was blown away. The huge body fell down with a bang, splashing a piece of ice flowers. The life of this 100,000-year-old soul beast came to an end. On the broken lake surface, the places affected by the battle seemed to have experienced a catastrophe. The ice chips and the lake water intertwined to form a messy picture, and the air around was filled with a faint chill and blood. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109 Seventh Soul Ring, 100,000 Years. The huge ice crystal turtle was quietly crawling on the lake. Its body was broken by the continuous attacks of ice explosion arrows. A wisp of red mist rose from its huge body, slowly condensed in the air, and gradually formed a soul ring with red light. Xiao Han, Lin Zhiruo and Binger were standing on the edge of the broken lake, looking at the scene in shock. This was the first time they saw the condensation process of the Red Soul Ring. In order to maintain the powerful ice and fire domain, Xiao Han almost exhausted his soul power and his face was pale. Binger came over and asked with concern, "Xiao Han, are you okay? The use of that domain skill is too much for you." Xiao Han shook his head gently and smiled, "I'm fine, I just need to rest for a while. It's all worth it to be able to defeat this 100,000-year-old soul beast." Lin Zhiruo also came over. Xiao Han's performance in that battle just now exceeded her imagination. "Xiao Han, I never thought that your domain skill would have such a powerful power that even a 100,000-year soul beast could be suppressed by it." Xiao Han smiled proudly. "Of course. Those 2 Dragon Balls contain a trace of Dragon Soul. No matter how powerful the Ice Crystal Black Turtle is, it can't compare with a God-level soul beast. In order to better absorb the 100,000-year soul ring, Xiao Han did not use the Ice and Fire 2 Yin Divine Light in the battle just now. Although the attack was powerful, it also consumed a lot of mental power." Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han, her eyes full of relief and pride. She knew that with Xiao Han's physical condition and ability, he was enough to withstand the energy of the 100,000-year soul ring. Xiao Han is only 16 years old now, and he is about to have his first 100,000-year soul ring, which is unique in the entire Douluo continent. "Xiao Han, you have consumed a lot of soul power. Adjust your state first. Binger and I will be on the side, okay?" Xiao Han sat cross-legged and began to adjust his state. After taking several immortal herbs and with 2 Dragon Balls in his body, Xiao Han recovered his soul power at a speed that ordinary soul masters could not compare to. In less than half an hour, his body had adjusted to the best state. The 100,000-year soul ring was also condensed and formed, shining with dazzling red light. It quietly floated above the broken lake surface. The surrounding space seemed to be distorted by its dazzling red light. The powerful aura emanating from it was chilling. Lin Zhiruo urged, "Xiao Han, you adjusted your state so quickly, go absorb it, we will protect you, okay?" Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the ice, stretched out his right hand, and slowly pulled the red 100,000-year soul ring over. Then, he began to absorb the soul ring. The majestic soul power slowly entered Xiao Han's body. Lin Zhiruo and Binger stood aside, staring at Xiao Han, both excited and nervous. At this moment, the soul ring suddenly burst into more dazzling light, as if it was going to swallow everything around it. An invisible pressure filled the entire space. Under this pressure, Xiao Han's body trembled slightly uncontrollably. But then, a strange scene appeared. A faint golden luster suddenly appeared on Xiao Han's body. It seemed that the power of the Dragon Ball and the fairy grass in his body took effect, helping him to suppress the violent aura of the 100,000-year soul ring. Under the cover of that golden luster, Xiao Han's breathing gradually calmed down, and his body, which was originally trembling due to the pressure of the soul ring, also tended to stabilize. The golden luster seemed to be an invisible shield, which not only resisted the violent impact brought by the soul ring, but also transformed the violent energy into gentle power, nourishing Xiao Han's body and soul. Seeing this, the worry in Lin Zhiruo and Binger's eyes gradually faded. Suddenly, a blue light flashed from the body of the ice crystal black turtle. Lin Zhiruo and Binger hurried over to check. A crystal clear blue bone came into their eyes. Binger was pleasantly surprised. "Dean Lin, is this a soul bone?" "Yes. After 100,000-year soul beast is killed, it will definitely drop a soul bone." Lin Zhiruo picked up the soul bone and looked at it. "This is a left arm soul bone. Give it to Xiao Han when he wakes up." As time passed, the light released by the soul ring gradually converged, no longer so dazzling, and became softer and softer. At the same time, Xiao Han's aura also quietly transformed, becoming more solid and unfathomable. When the last ray of light merged into Xiao Han's body, the soul ring finally completely merged with him. Xiao Han slowly opened his eyes, feeling the changes in himself, and was pleasantly surprised. This 100,000-year soul ring gave him the ability to open the soul body of the weapon, and the improvement it brought to him was huge. "Success, Xiao Han, you finally absorbed the soul ring." Lin Zhiruo and Binger cheered almost at the same time and came to Xiao Han together. Xiao Han stood up, took a deep breath of fresh air, felt the surging power in his body, and a satisfied smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Mom, Binger, The 100,000-year spirit ring is indeed different. My strength has been raised to a whole new level, Lin Zhiruo smiled. Of course, it's 100,000 years after all. As she spoke, she took out the spirit bone. Xiao Han, this is the spirit bone that dropped from the ice crystal black turtle. It's the left arm bone. While you're in good shape now, absorb it as well, okay? Xiao Han took the spirit bone, took a simple look at it, and then pressed it directly into his left arm, and then activated his spirit power to begin the fusion. After absorbing the spirit ring of the ice crystal black turtle, absorbing its spirit bone was much smoother. In less than half an hour, Xiao Han had completely integrated the spirit bone into his left arm. He could clearly feel that his strength had been raised again. Shui Binger asked with anticipation, Xiao Han, what level of spirit power are you now? Just broke through level 77, level 77. Improved so much? Shui Binger widened her eyes, feeling incredible. Lin Zhiruo was also surprised. Xiao Han's soul power increased more than she had imagined. Only 3 months had passed since the Soul Master competition ended. In these short 3 months, Xiao Han's soul power had miraculously increased by nearly 20 levels. Xiao Han explained, my soul power increased so much all of a sudden, and it was not all brought by the 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone. When I absorbed the 2 Dragon Balls before, my soul power reached level 70. The part that exceeded it could not be sensed, and it was manifested this time. I see, Shui Binger continued. You are now able to use the weapon Soul True Body. I wonder what kind of 100,000-year soul skills that soul bone has brought you. Speaking of the weapon Soul True Body, Xiao Han smiled confidently. With the weapon Soul True Body, my bow and arrow can be used together or separately. I use the bow and arrow for long-range attacks, and the arrows are like spears for close combat. Chapter 110 Absolute Defense. As Xiao Han spoke, he slowly raised his right hand, and a powerful soul force surged out of his body, instantly spreading over the broken lake. Along with the release of the true ice bow and arrow martial spirit, an extremely cold breath suddenly swept over. In an instant, the air around him seemed to solidify. Xiao Han was surrounded by 7 soul rings of purple, black, and red. The brilliant 100,000-year soul ring suddenly shone, like a red sun, emitting dazzling light, reflecting the surrounding ice and snow. Xiao Han released his weapon Soul True Body, and the true ice bow and true ice arrow in his hand instantly enlarged. The true ice arrow was 3 meters long, the arrow body was crystal clear, emitting a rich blue light, and contained endless coldness. When necessary, I can use this true ice arrow as a spear for close combat, which can save my soul power. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he put away the true ice bow, waved the true ice arrow in his hand, and demonstrated it in front of Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger. Shui Binger couldn't help but admire, Xiao Han, your weapon soul can be combined or divided. It has both the sharpness of long-range attacks and the power of close combat. It is really useful. Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han with a face full of relief. Xiao Han, your current strength is far beyond your peers. Although your level is lower than mine, I am not your opponent if we really compare. Xiao Han smiled and said modestly, Mom, I'm just lucky and I used a lot of external forces, okay, don't be modest. Remember, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. Keep your original intention and don't be proud and complacent because of it. Well, I know, Shui Binger asked curiously, Xiao Han, what are the 2 100,000 soul skills of your left arm soul bone? You haven't told us yet. These 2 soul skills are related to the skills of the ice crystal black turtle, 1 attack and 1 defense. I call them freezing and absolute defense. Xiao Han paused, then explained, the freezing skill is combined with my ultimate ice. Once activated, it can freeze everything within 100 meters in an instant. I can control the ice through my thoughts and attack the frozen enemies. The black turtle ice armor combined with my ultimate ice has an absolute defense effect and can resist attacks below the god level. When I activate this soul skill, a layer of tortoiseshell shield will instantly cover my whole body. This shield not only has amazing defensive power, but also can absorb some soul skill attacks. In battle, I can also release this defensive power to form a protective shield to protect my companions. Shui Binger and Lin Zhiruo were amazed after hearing this. These 200,000-year soul skills undoubtedly made Xiao Han's combat ability leap to a whole new level. Whether it is fighting alone or in a team, they can play a vital role. Xiao Han, You now have the same ice sealing skills as us. And you have the ultimate ice, which is even more powerful. Yes, Xiao Han's 200,000-year soul skills can be used for both single combat and group combat, which is amazing. Xiao Han added, although the defense of the Black Tortoise ice armor is strong, it is time-limited. The defense duration increases with the improvement of my soul power. With my current soul power, it can last for 5 seconds. It is already very good for the absolute defense below the god level to last for 5 seconds. Lin Zhiruo is very confident in Xiao Han. She believed that since Xiao Han had such a strong absolute defense, he would not have to worry too much even when facing a title Douluo level enemy. Shui Binger looked at Xiao Han, with complex emotions flashing in her eyes, including pride, envy, and a bit of determination not to fall behind. Xiao Han, you have grown too fast. Before the Soul Master competition, we were both about the same, but now you are already a strong man who can stand on your own. It seems that I have to work harder to keep up with you. Lin Zhiruo patted Shui Binger's shoulder gently and encouraged, Binger, you have your talent and potential, so don't be too anxious. Xiao Han's progress is indeed amazing, but the challenges and opportunities he has experienced are also unimaginable for ordinary people. You just need to follow your own pace and steadily improve, and you will achieve greater success in the future. Shui Binger nodded. Well, I will practice hard, Xiao Han said. Binger, after you break through level 60, I will teach you a method to increase the speed of practice. Lin Zhiruo looked at Shui Binger and explained, after a Soul Master breaks through level 60, the increase in soul power will become slow. Xiao Han's method is really magical. It can actually increase the speed of practice. However, it must be based on strong soul power. You can try it when you reach level 60. After hearing this, Shui Binger was surprised and happy, and was looking forward to the method mentioned by Xiao Han and his mother. Okay, I'll try to break through level 60 as soon as possible, Xiao Han went on. The improvement brought by 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone is enormous. Mom, Binger, I will arrange for both of you when I have the chance in the future. Xiao Han, you are quite boastful. Then I'll wait for your big gift. Mom, you are already level 85 now. When you break through a level 90, I will find a 100,000-year spirit beast for you. 100,000-year spirit beasts are not easy to find, and not everyone has the luck like you. Besides, it's not certain whether I can break through level 90. There are too many spirit masters in this world who are stuck at level 89, and they are only one step away from being promoted to title Douluo, but they can't break through, Shui Binger said. Dean Lin, Xiao Han and I both believe that you can definitely do it. Let it be. To be honest, I'm already very satisfied with what I have achieved today. I see hope in you. Your future is bright, and you will definitely achieve the achievement of title Douluo in the future. The three smiled at each other, full of hope for the future. The cold environment of the frozen forest is an excellent place for ice attribute soul masters to practice. But this time they only came for Xiao Han to obtain the 7th soul ring, and they were not prepared to stay here for a long time. Therefore, after obtaining the soul ring, the three planned to leave and headed towards the outskirts of the forest. As they were walking, Lin Zhiruo stopped. It's getting dark. There's a cave over there. Let's rest for a night and leave after dawn tomorrow. Well, I'm hungry too. Let's eat something. The three came to the cave, set up a tent, and then replenished food and water. Soon, night fell. Xiao Han asked Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger to sleep first, and he stayed at the entrance of the cave to keep watch. The night was as dark as ink, deep and quiet. The snow outside the cave, under the moonlight, flickered with a silvery white light, like an endless silver ocean, quiet and mysterious. Occasionally, a breeze blew, causing the branches to sway gently, and the light and shadows on the ground also danced with it, adding a bit of vitality to the lonely night. Just as Xiao Han closed his eyes and concentrated, a dangerous aura approached quietly. Chapter 111, Challenging the Dark Demonic Tiger. Xiao Han suddenly opened his eyes. He felt a trace of soul power fluctuation in the air, which was subtle but unusual, with a bit of evil aura. The soul power fluctuation broke the silence around him. The originally calm silver-white ground began to ripple, as if disturbed by some invisible force. The air was filled with a tense and dangerous atmosphere, which made people feel palpitations involuntarily. Xiao Han looked around vigilantly. He felt that the soul power fluctuation was a bit strange, which was definitely not emitted by ordinary soul beasts. It might come from a soul beast of 100,000 years. Moreover, the soul beast was extremely smart and seemed to have discovered the location of the three of them. But it did not rush to appear, but approached cautiously like a hunter. Mom, Binger, there is something going on. Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger were awakened by Xiao Han's voice. They quickly walked out of the tent and came to Xiao Han's side. Lin Zhiruo also felt the soul power fluctuation. Xiao Han, a soul beast is approaching. Yes, Xiao Han did not look back, but still looked around vigilantly. His mental power was like an invisible net, spreading rapidly in all directions, trying to capture the exact location of the strange soul power fluctuation. The moment the mental skull was opened, Xiao Han's eyes became extremely sharp, as if he could penetrate layers of obstacles and look directly at the threat hidden in the dark. Just as his mental power was about to touch the source of the soul power fluctuation, an equally powerful and hostile mental power suddenly hit him. This sudden collision made Xiao Han's body tremble involuntarily. The invisible force was extremely violent and tried to tear his will and soul apart. Xiao Han was startled by the attack, and fine beads of sweat oozed from his forehead. Seeing this, Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger were a little worried. Xiao Han, what's wrong with you? I feel its presence. It is an evil soul beast, more powerful than the 100,000-year-old ice crystal black tortoise we killed. It is very smart, lurking in the dark, and seems to want to treat the three of us as its prey. Xiao Han had a vague feeling in his heart that the powerful soul beast was most likely the dark demon evil god tiger. The dark demon evil god tiger is a top soul beast. Because it is too evil and relies on devouring soul beasts and human soul masters to improve its own cultivation, it is regarded as a public enemy and has a hard time surviving. It is almost extinct. The dark demon evil god tiger once challenged the status of the titan giant ape and the azure bull python in the center of the starred-out great forest. It was injured by the two and fled to the frozen forest. Xiao Han's parents and dozens of people died in the mouth of the evil soul beast. On the day of awakening the martial soul, Xiao Han made a vow in his heart that one day, he would avenge his dead parents and kill the evil soul beast with his own hands. Unexpectedly, they would meet so soon. In order to verify his guess, Xiao Han once again condensed his mental power, and an invisible arrow rushed towards the source of the evil soul power. However, the other party did not seem to intend to sit and wait for death. A more turbulent mental power wave quickly condensed, forming an invisible shield, which blocked Xiao Han's attack. The two forces collided, erupting with a silent roar. The surrounding space seemed to be squeezed and distorted by the powerful shock wave, and the snowflakes on the ground were scattered by the aftermath. Xiao Han's face was solemn. Mom, this opponent is definitely not an ordinary person. Not only is he powerful, but he is also extremely intelligent. Binger, take off quickly, the higher the better. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he immediately released his martial soul and soul ring, and his ice crystal wings instantly stretched out, ready to take off. Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger were both startled by Xiao Han's sudden move. Without time to think about it, they also released their own martial souls, flapped their wings and flew to the top of the tall tree. Lin Zhiruo worriedly said, Xiao Han, what did you find? Mom, it's that soul beast, the black giant tiger. What? It turned out to be it. Knowing that it was the soul beast that killed Xiao Han's parents, Lin Zhiruo's face also became solemn. She knew what Xiao Han was thinking, but she didn't intend to stop him. Because she also wanted to know what the soul beast looked like, and wanted to avenge Xiao Han's parents. Binger, it's very dangerous here, don't come down. Yes, I understand. Shui Binger was a little confused. She didn't quite understand what Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo were talking about, but she could feel the power of the soul beast from their nervous tone. Xiao Han did not fly high into the sky. He knew that the dark demon evil god tiger was not far away. Since you are here, show yourself. Hiding in the dark and sneaking around is not your style. The dark demon evil god tiger seemed to understand Xiao Han's words, and actually roared to the sky, and then rushed towards the direction where Xiao Han was. It was very fast, and in the blink of an eye, it came to a place less than 100 meters away from Xiao Han. Dozens of black energy light blades flew towards Xiao Han without any warning. Xiao Han was well prepared, and the moment he took off into the air, he shot a frost arrow at the black shadow. This arrow would not cause any harm to the dark demon evil god tiger, but was just used by Xiao Han to provoke it. Xiao Han wanted to let it know that he would not escape easily. Sure enough, the dark demon evil god tiger stopped and stared at Xiao Han, who was floating in the air, with a fierce look. The dark demon evil god tiger has the ability to fly at low altitude, but it did not rush to attack, as if it was thinking about something. Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger could see the appearance of the soul beast clearly. It was a giant tiger with a pure black body, without a trace of other colors. There was a king character on its forehead, which was also black, but different from the black of its fur. It was a gloomy black like fog. It was more than 8 meters long, and its muscles bulged all over its body. Its red eyes were full of gloomy aura, which was particularly conspicuous in the snow. The most peculiar thing was its high-standing tail. Unlike the tail of a tiger soul beast, that tail was much longer and composed of many joints. There was a huge barb at the top of the tail, shining with a cold and dim light. Feeling the breath of the dark demon evil god tiger, Xiao Han suddenly grinned. He knew that the dark demon evil god tiger, which had cultivated for 50,000 to 60,000 years, was extremely powerful. Ordinary soul beasts of 100,000 years were not its opponents at all. An ordinary title Douluo level masters could not do anything to it. Just now, Xiao Han used his mental power to make a tentative attack, and he felt that this dark demon evil god tiger did not seem to be as powerful as he imagined. Therefore, he dared to stay recklessly. When he saw it up close, his guess was confirmed. There was a strong smell of blood in the air. The bloody smell did not come from the prey of the dark demon evil god tiger, but from itself. Obviously, it was injured. This dark demon evil god tiger seemed to have experienced a fierce battle not long ago, and was seriously injured. It urgently needed to replenish nutrition, and Xiao Han and the other 3 were the prey it secretly coveted. Chapter 112, Guardian of the Evil God. The dark demon evil god tiger has 6 attributes: evil, time, space, lightning, wind, and strength. It has a super high intelligence that is not inferior to that of humans. Moreover, it has a trace of evil god power in its body. Therefore, the dark demon evil god tiger of 10,000 years has the strength to challenge the soul beast of 100,000 years. Xiao Han knew that even if the dark demon evil god tiger was injured, it would still be difficult to deal with. Lin Zhiruo also smelled the bloody smell in the air. She carefully explored the source and found that it was emitted from the dark demon evil god tiger. Xiao Han, that soul beast seems to be injured. Yes, it seems that it has just experienced a fierce battle and wants to use the 3 of us as food to supplement its nutrition. The dark demon evil god tiger is pure black, and the wounds on its body cannot be seen clearly. However, the snow under its feet is already stained with blood, and it seems that it is seriously injured. Xiao Han stared at the dark demon evil god tiger opposite him, with murderous eyes. Mom, my parents must have been killed by it. I didn't expect to meet it here. Today, I want to avenge my parents. Seeing Xiao Han's firm attitude, Lin Zhiruo did not stop him and reminded him, Xiao Han, this soul beast is extremely ferocious. Even if it is injured, it should not be underestimated. Yes, I have checked the information. This guy is the dark demon evil god tiger. It has multiple attributes and extremely high intelligence. You must not get close to it, especially pay attention to the barbs on its tail, which will bring fatal threats. Okay, Xiao Han glanced at Shui Binger who was high up and warned, Binger, this dark demon evil god tiger is extremely cunning and has the ability to fly at low altitudes. Stay away and protect yourself. Yes, I know. Although the soul beast in front of her was very powerful, Shui Binger was fearless and wanted to participate in the battle. She also knew that her strength was limited and might become a burden to Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo. Therefore, she planned to adapt to the situation and provide them with as much help as possible. Xiao Han reminded, Mom, that guy has extremely strong defense, which is even stronger than that of the 100,000-year-old ice crystal black turtle. We should try not to waste soul power on meaningless attacks. Okay, the command of this battle is handed over to you. Lin Zhiruo felt that Xiao Han seemed to know this soul beast very well and trusted him completely. As Xiao Han's 7th soul ring suddenly flashed, the dazzling red instantly illuminated the snowy area. This is a symbol of 100,000 years of cultivation, which contains powerful power. Even the dark demon evil god tiger, which is 100 meters away, couldn't help but look sideways, with a trace of greed in its eyes. Against the backdrop of this 100,000-year soul ring, Xiao Han released his weapon Soul True Body, and his momentum rose again. With a fierce look in his eyes, he looked directly at the dark demon evil god tiger. The dark demon evil god tiger felt a strong hostility from Xiao Han. It has devoured many soul beasts and soul masters, and of course it understands what the 100,000-year soul ring means. Among the soul masters it has met, there are almost no soul masters who dare to face it like Xiao Han. Because it would not give those soul masters a chance. Once it found them, it would kill and devour them mercilessly. When it found Xiao Han and the other two and was attacked by Xiao Han's mental power, the dark demon evil god tiger knew that its opponent was not simple and was definitely not comparable to the human soul masters it had met before. Seeing Xiao Han and feeling his aura, it was pleasantly surprised. It was injured in the previous battle, and such a powerful human soul master was exactly the tonic it needed. What surprised it was that this human soul master did not choose to escape, but stayed to fight, which was exactly what it wanted. Facing the human soul master in front of it, the dark demon evil god tiger was full of confidence. It believed that even if it was injured, it could kill them. However, there was a thorny problem in front of it. The three human soul masters all had the ability to fight in the air, so it could not act rashly and scare them away. What it thought of was to use itself as bait to lure them closer. Therefore, it did not take the initiative to attack until now. Seeing that the opponent was about to attack, the dark demon evil god tiger also moved. It slowly stepped out and walked towards the direction of Xiao Han step by step. The dark demon evil god tiger weighed 3,000 pounds, like a slowly moving black hill, and every step it took was accompanied by a muffled sound. Although its pace was not fast, it carried an extremely strong sense of oppression. The coldness brought by the evil breath caused the surrounding temperature to drop suddenly. The red eyes flashed with cunning and cruel light, as if it could see through people's hearts and plan how to play with these three human soul masters. As the dark demon evil god tiger approached, the bloody smell in the air became stronger. This bloody smell not only did not make Xiao Han and Lin Zhiruo afraid, but instead inspired them to fight more firmly. This evil and powerful soul beast has killed countless soul masters who came to the frozen forest to obtain soul rings. If it is not eliminated soon, more people will die in its mouth in the future. Now that it is injured, it is a good time to get rid of it. Shuibinger quietly observed all this from a high place, ready to deal with any possible changes at any time. The dark demon evil tiger suddenly launched an attack, and dozens of black and red light blades flew towards Xiao Han without any warning. Facing this sudden attack, Xiao Han did not show any panic. He knew that those black and red light blades were formed by the fusion of wind and evil energy. That skill has both the powerful cutting of wind attribute and the powerful corrosion of evil attribute. It is as powerful as the soul skills of human soul masters with black soul rings over 50,000 years old. Xiao Han's eyes were as sharp as a hawk, tightly locked on the black and red light blades that were approaching rapidly. The light of the seventh soul ring was still bright. The weapon's soul true body gave him not only an increase in momentum, but also a leap in strength. Xiao Han's figure left a residual image on the spot, and instantly moved sideways, easily avoiding those light blades that seemed sharp but were actually predicted by him. At the same time, he released the bow and arrow that had been pulled to the full moon. An invisible arrow formed by mental power and soul power shot out from the air, pointing directly at the huge black body of the dark demon evil god tiger. Feeling an invisible terrifying energy approaching rapidly, a trace of surprise flashed across the eyes of the dark demon evil god tiger. It did not expect that the opponent could counterattack so quickly. It could sense the invisible threat, but could not sense the specific location of the arrow, and the arrow was extremely fast and arrived in an instant. However, even if a human soul master has a powerful attack, it is not a threat in the eyes of the dark demon evil god tiger. A strong gray airflow instantly erupted from the barb of its tail, and that airflow immediately enveloped its entire body. That is its most powerful defensive skill, Evil God Guardian. Chapter 113 Deadly Threat. The Evil God's Guardian is the dark demon evil god tiger's proud defensive skill. The gray airflow contains a trace of the power of the evil god, forming an indestructible barrier. Xiao Han condensed the invisible arrow of mental power and soul power, and when it touched the gray light shield, it made a crisp bang sound, and then dissipated into the invisible. A trace of pride and contempt flashed in the eyes of the dark demon evil god tiger. It knew that its defense was not something that these human soul masters could easily break. At this time, Lin Zhiruo also launched an attack. Her forehead suddenly flashed, and two ice crystal rays shot out rapidly, hitting the gray airflow light shield on the dark demon evil god tiger, instantly freezing it completely. Seeing this, Xiao Han was about to launch another attack when he suddenly heard a bang. Immediately afterwards, the layer of ice outside the gray light shield was blown to pieces. Lin Zhiruo's soul skill ice crystal ray, acting on the dark demon evil god tiger, only lasted for 1 second before it was completely broken by it. The dark demon evil god tiger's powerful force shook the entire space as it broke free from the ice. Lin Zhiruo was shocked. She didn't expect that the injured dark demon evil god tiger would still have such a powerful explosive power. Xiao Han didn't dare to be careless and stared at the dark demon evil god tiger closely. As long as he could break its evil god protection, he would have a chance to kill it. But this is by no means an easy task. Just as Xiao Han was pulling the bow again, the dark demon evil god tiger moved. In stark contrast to the previous slow and steady movement, when it moved, Xiao Han immediately felt a bloody smell coming towards him, the surrounding air shook violently, and the wind was fierce. In the blink of an eye, the dark demon evil god tiger disappeared from Xiao Han's sight. With a fast speed. It used the wind attribute ability. Xiao Han was shocked, and the spirit skull, left arm soul bone and right arm soul bone were activated at the same time. With his powerful mental power, Xiao Han keenly captured the extremely hidden traces of the dark demon evil god tiger. The huge creature had silently moved behind him like a ghost, and its movements were so treacherous that even the air was not disturbed. Xiao Han's reaction was as fast as lightning. At the critical moment, his body suddenly flashed, like a flexible wind, and quickly shifted to the left, trying to avoid the impending fatal threat. At the same time, the condensed ice power in his right hand suddenly exploded. Under the urging of soul power, the originally slender ice arrow quickly expanded and extended, turning into a 5-meter-long ice spear shining with cold light, with a piercing chill, and stabbed behind him fiercely. However, Xiao Han's attack did not pierce the dark demon evil god tiger. The air that should have been pierced by the ice spear was left with only a residual image. The huge body of the dark demon evil god tiger suddenly stopped in the air in an incredible way in the middle of its fierce rush, as if it violated the principle of gravity, and fell to the ground instantly, avoiding the sharp edge of the ice spear. The ice spear swept past, and the sound of the wind had not yet dissipated. The body of the dark demon evil god tiger seemed to be pushed by an invisible force and regained amazing acceleration. Its muscles burst out with shocking power and tension, and its whole body was like an arrow from a bow, and it pounced on Xiao Han, who had not had time to retract with strength, again with a lightning speed. At this moment, its eyes flashed with blood-red light, and its 2 tiger claws passed through the void, bringing bursts of wind-breaking sounds. The sharp claws were like the netherworld hands stretched out from the dark abyss, and slapped Xiao Han with the ferocity of tearing everything apart. The terrifying power contained in the huge tiger claws made the surrounding space tremble. The sharp claws flashed with cold light, and were only 1 foot away from Xiao Han's body. Even though Xiao Han had an indestructible body and was extremely tough, under the impact of such power, he knew that if he was accidentally hit, he would probably suffer serious injuries, or even die. At this critical moment of life and death, Xiao Han still remained calm. Just as the tiger claw was about to touch his body, his 100,000-year-old left arm soul bone skill, absolute defense, was instantly activated. A layer of ice as hard as steel and emitting a faint blue light instantly covered his entire body, wrapping him tightly in it. At this moment, he was like a god of war wearing ice crystal armor. The moment the powerful tiger claw brushed past Xiao Han, it let out a piercing scream. Although Xiao Han's absolute defense was indestructible, the tiger claw still left several deep scratches on the ice on his body. After all, the dark demon evil god tiger possessed a trace of evil god power, which posed a huge threat to Xiao Han's absolute defense. With the help of the impact force, Xiao Han's figure retreated quickly like a ghost. At the same time, another powerful skill of his 100,000-year-old left arm soul bone, ice freezing, was also activated. A layer of ice as hard as steel instantly froze the 8-meter-long dark demon evil god tiger in the air. The huge body became stiff, like an ice sculpture, and fell rapidly under the action of gravity. Boom! Before the dark demon evil god tiger fell to the ground, it struggled out again with its powerful strength and tenacious will, breaking Xiao Han's ice sealing skill. Xiao Han possessed the ultimate ice, but the ice sealing skill only restricted the dark demon evil god tiger for 2 seconds. However, Xiao Han was not discouraged by this. He had already prepared for the next step, and the bowstring in his hand was quietly pulled to full. At the moment when the dark demon evil god tiger broke through the ice, he decisively launched his sixth soul skill, high explosive penetration. With the right arm soul bone activated, the attack of high explosive penetration instantly doubled. A cold arrow pierced through the broken ice and hit the dark demon evil god tiger's vital point like lightning, hitting one of its front paws, and blood splattered. The dark demon evil god tiger let out a deafening roar, pain and anger intertwined, shaking the entire space. It obviously didn't expect that the young soul master in front of it had such a strong defense and successfully attacked it. Its front paw had been injured in the previous battle, and it was further injured by Xiao Han's blow. The blood on the wound quickly coagulated, stiffened and numb. The naturally aggressive dark demon evil god tiger did not retreat, but instead aroused its ferocity. A red light flashed in its eyes, and the wings on its back suddenly spread out and flapped a few times. Countless black lights rushed out and turned into sharp blades flying towards Xiao Han. Those black blades were like dense raindrops, covering the sky and the earth. Xiao Han did not take it head-on, but dodged quickly and flew high into the sky. The dark demon evil god tiger suddenly slapped its front paws, and a black light flew straight towards Xiao Han in the air, and arrived in front of him in the blink of an eye. Xiao Han knew that it was evil energy, which might be accompanied by lightning attacks. In a flash of lightning, the absolute defense was activated again. Boom! When the black light was only half a meter away from Xiao Han, it suddenly condensed at a point and exploded violently. Chapter 114, All-Out Attack. The shock wave generated by the explosion formed a brilliant light and shadow, instantly illuminating the airspace where Xiao Han was. Thanks to the protection of absolute defense, Xiao Han did not suffer any substantial damage. He was only blown away by the aftermath, but then stabilized his body in the air. The dark demon evil god tiger's attack did not stop. It roared and flapped its wings again, soaring into the sky. Its speed was as fast as lightning, and it instantly arrived dozens of meters in front of Xiao Han. Xiao Han was shocked. He knew that the dark demon evil god tiger had a special sprint skill, which was as fast as teleportation. But unlike teleportation, its sprint skill must be in a straight line to reach the set target. If it encounters an obstacle in the middle, it cannot bypass it like teleportation and appear in another place. When the dark demon evil god tiger rushed towards Xiao Han, the evil power was fully erupted, and the attack power increased to twice the usual level. Xiao Han knew that even if he had absolute defense, it would probably be difficult to block that blow. So he quickly dodged and flew higher into the sky. The dark demon evil god tiger's straight dash was dodged by Xiao Han in advance, and it was furious. With a roar, layers of gray light condensed into a ball around its body. While chasing Xiao Han, those gray balls also shot towards Xiao Han. Those gray balls were a mixture of wind, thunder, and evil attributes, and could instantly burst out with terrifying power. When those gray balls shot at him, Xiao Han soared into the air and released his weapon soul again, launching his second soul skill, 10,000 arrows. Lin Zhiruo also launched an attack from the side, with countless sharp ice cones piercing those gray balls. The ice blue arrows and ice cones cut through the sky like a meteor shower, and violently collided with those gray balls containing the power of wind, thunder, and evil in the air, bursting out dazzling light and deafening roars. The continuous explosion seemed to tear the space apart, stirring the surrounding airflow violently. The gray spheres that had originally locked onto Xiao Han were shattered one by one in the continuous explosions, turning into energy fragments all over the sky. Xiao Han's arrows and Lin Zhiruo's ice cone attack not only successfully resisted the dark demon evil god tiger's attack, but also used the shock wave generated by the explosion to further disrupt its attack rhythm. Seeing this, the dark demon evil god tiger's eyes flashed with a trace of astonishment and anger. Its roar became even more deafening, as if it was ready to launch a more violent attack. It rushed towards the two people in the air again, as if it was tireless. Suddenly, a series of twisted ripples quickly circled around the dark demon evil god tiger's body. The gray aura emanating from it turned into gray light, which bloomed in an instant and spread out hundreds of meters. "Mom, be careful. That's its domain skill," Xiao Han shouted loudly, and he and Lin Zhiruo dodged to the left and right, avoiding the cover of the gray light. The dark demon evil god tiger was completely angry. The human soul master in front of him could always predict its attacks and kept calculating it. It was already injured, and several consecutive attacks failed, and it consumed a lot of soul power. If it continues like this, its injuries will only get worse, and it has to find another way. With a fierce light in its eyes, The dark demon evil god tiger moved again, and disappeared from Xiao Han's side in the blink of an eye. This time, Xiao Han couldn't even sense its existence. A bad premonition suddenly rose in Xiao Han's heart. His eyes suddenly lit up, and his eyeballs turned red and ice blue. The yin-yang eyes of ice and fire can see through all illusions and instantly determine the location of the dark demon evil god tiger. At this time, it was rushing towards Shuibinger on the top of the tree. Without any hesitation, Xiao Han quickly flew in the direction of Shuibinger. Binger, take off quickly. Although Shuibinger didn't see the dark demon evil god tiger approaching at a high speed, she had already felt a strong pressure coming suddenly. Before Xiao Han finished speaking, she took off into the air and flew to a higher place. Lin Zhiruo and Xiao Han flew towards Shuibinger at the same time, ready to fight against the sneak attack of the dark demon evil god tiger. Suddenly, the huge black figure of the dark demon evil god tiger stopped in the sky above Xiao Han's head. Then, circles of black ripples spread from its body, pressing down on Xiao Han like an overwhelming force. Not only the circles of black ripples, but also the 3,000 jin body of the dark demon evil god tiger pressed down on Xiao Han like a black mountain. Xiao Han felt a strong pressure that made him almost breathless. In the process of pressing down, the dark demon evil god tiger also activated the evil god guardian, and a layer of gray airflow enveloped its huge body. The barbs on its tail that were erected high were flashing with a grim light, ready to attack Xiao Han at any time. Just now, the dark demon evil god tiger used a trick of making a feint to the east and attacking in the west. It seemed to be a sneak attack on Shuibinger, but the real target was still Xiao Han. This time, its attack was more fierce than before, as if it had gathered all its strength to give Xiao Han a fatal blow. Xiao Han knew that once he was pulled into the black hole space by the barb on the tail of the dark demon evil god tiger, he would surely die. At this moment of life and death, Xiao Han's body surged with surging power, and a dazzling light burst out from his body, and the ice and fire domain instantly unfolded. At this moment, the two Dragon King powers in his body seemed to be summoned and responded actively. The air was suddenly filled with a cold and hot breath. In the ice and fire domain, fire and ice coexist. The flame emits dazzling light and endless heat, and the ice emits piercing coldness and the power to solidify everything. Under Xiao Han's control, the two perfectly merged to form a rotating tornado, which instantly enveloped the black ripples and the huge body of the dark demon evil god tiger. There seemed to be two looming dragon shadows in the tornado. Looking at this scene, Lin Zhiruo and Shuibinger were stunned. In the battle with the dark demon evil god tiger, even Lin Zhiruo, who had reached the Soul Douluo level, felt powerless, and Xiao Han fought alone most of the time. The ice and fire yin-yang domain that Xiao Han used this time was much more domineering than when he dealt with a 100,000-year-old ice crystal black turtle, and had a more powerful power. Obviously, after possessing the 100,000-year soul ring, Xiao Han could release more of the power of the Dragon King. The power of the fire dragon has a restraining effect on evil aura. Those originally hideous and twisted black ripples, when they came into contact with the ice and fire yin-yang domain, were like encountering a natural enemy, making a hissing sound, and then dissipated into nothingness. The dark demon evil god tiger was bound by the two dragon shadows and could not break free. At the same time, in Xiao Han's eyes, the red and ice blue light intertwined into the ice and fire yin-yang divine light, directly locking onto the huge body of the dark demon evil god tiger. Chapter 115 Absorbing the Dark Demon Evil God Pearl. Under the attack of the yin-yang light of ice and fire, the dark demon evil god tiger's original arrogance instantly withered, and a trace of disbelief and fear flashed in its eyes, as if an invisible force was depriving it of its source of power. Trapped in the yin-yang field of ice and fire, the dark demon evil god tiger felt an unprecedented threat. It let out a deafening roar, trying to break free from the shackles of the two worlds of ice and fire. Xiao Han gathered all his strength, loosened the bowstring in his hand that was pulled to the full moon, and instantly fired the fourth soul skill, the Ice Explosion Arrow. With a joint amplification of the Spirit Skull, the left arm Soul Bone, the right arm Soul Bone, the weapon Soul True Body and the Yin-Yang field of ice and fire, the power of the 10,000-year soul skill, the Ice Explosion Arrow, increased by a full 18 times. In order to perform this attack, Xiao Han exhausted all his remaining soul power and mental power. If this attack cannot completely kill the dark demon evil god tiger, then the snowy area under him is very likely to become his burial place. The huge ice arrow that condensed Xiao Han's full force was like a meteor that streaked through the night sky. With unparalleled might, it directly pierced through the seemingly indestructible evil god protection of the dark demon evil god tiger. The moment the arrow penetrated the protection, it seemed to ignite the space, bursting out with extremely dazzling light, illuminating everything around it like daylight. A trace of despair flashed in the eyes of the dark demon evil god tiger. It never expected that this seemingly young human soul master could burst out with such terrifying power. The moment the arrow penetrated its body, there seemed to be an invisible force of cold and heat intertwined, like ice and fire, raging in its body. Boom! With a deafening roar, the ice explosion arrow suddenly exploded in the body of the dark demon evil god tiger, releasing extremely powerful energy fluctuations. The surrounding space seemed to be torn apart at this moment. The shock wave generated by the explosion spread wildly around the dark demon evil god tiger, breaking all the surrounding trees and turning them into wood chips and broken ice. The entire snowy area seemed to have experienced a doomsday catastrophe. The huge body of the dark demon evil god tiger was blown to pieces and scattered all over the ground. The air was filled with a strong smell of blood. The two-element domain of ice and fire suddenly converged and dissipated into nothingness. Xiao Han exhausted his physical and spiritual strength and fell to the snow helplessly. Xiao Han, Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger flew towards Xiao Han together. Lin Zhiruo was faster. At the moment when Xiao Han was about to fall to the ground, she used the ice freezing skill to protect him and prevent him from being hit. Then, she slowly put him down. Binger also came to Xiao Han's side. Xiao Han, how are you? I'm fine, I just temporarily exhausted my spiritual power. Xiao Han sat up and looked around, his eyes as sharp as an eagle. Lin Zhiruo asked, Xiao Han, the soul beast is dead. What are you looking for? Xiao Han did not turn around, staring at the place where the fragments of the dark demon evil god tiger's body were scattered. Isn't there a black bead? How? Suddenly, a black bead as big as an egg appeared in Xiao Han's sight. The bead was dark black, but it emitted two kinds of light, cyan and blue. Next to the black bead, there was a space similar to a black hole, like an endless abyss. Mom, Binger, quickly seal the black bead and don't let it run into the black hole. Be careful, don't get close to the black hole. Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger followed the direction of Xiao Han's finger and saw the black bead and the black hole. After hearing Xiao Han's words, the two disappeared from the spot like lightning and rushed towards the black bead. Shui Binger was quick-eyed and quick-handed, and quickly activated the first soul skill, freezing the black bead at the moment it moved. The ice that wrapped the black bead was immediately attacked by the evil aura, and turned from ice blue to black crystal. Shui Binger suddenly felt dizzy, as if she was mentally shocked, and her body trembled uncontrollably. Just when the black bead was about to break free from Shui Binger's ice, Lin Zhiruo activated the skull skill ice crystal ray in time, instantly freezing it again and pulling it towards her. The blue ice crystal was also attacked by the evil aura and gradually turned black. However, Lin Zhiruo's soul power and mental power were stronger, so it was not so easy for it to break free. At this moment, Xiao Han rushed over with his exhausted body. Mom, please hold on for a while. Binger, give me some soul power, okay? Shui Binger urged her soul power, slapped her palms on Xiao Han's shoulders, and sent it into his body. The soul power flowed along Xiao Han's blood meridians, as if awakening his body, and immediately made him energetic. In the blink of an eye, he turned that strand of soul power into his own use. After a simple adjustment, Xiao Han quickly came to the black bead and wrapped the ice that froze it with both hands. Mom, leave this black bead to me. Well, be careful, don't worry, it will be fine. The dragon bone power in Xiao Han's body seemed to be summoned again, and his two palms suddenly turned into ice blue and red. At the moment when the ice melted, the black bead was firmly held between his two palms. Xiao Han immediately felt a powerful impact in the center of his palms. It was the evil spirit struggling desperately. However, no matter how it struggled, it could not escape the restraint of the power of the two dragon kings. A strange scene appeared, and the black hole closed and disappeared. Xiao Han's soul power has not recovered yet, and there is not much soul power that can be mobilized. Seeing this, Shui Binger input soul power into Xiao Han's body again. Xiao Han sat down, adjusted his breathing, and held the black bead tightly with both palms, as if he was refining it. Lin Zhiruo didn't know what the extremely dangerous black bead and black hole were. let alone why Xiao Han did this. She stayed by Xiao Han and Shui Binger's side, protecting them from other soul beasts. The evil aura that was originally rolling on the surface of the black bead gradually calmed down between Xiao Han's hands. Xiao Han's breathing became more and more even. At Lin Zhiruo's signal, Shui Binger stopped sending soul power to him. Xiao Han continued to practice, recovering his soul power while refining the black bead. As time went by, the aura around Xiao Han began to change subtly. Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger watched nervously on the side. They could feel the energy fluctuations emanating from Xiao Han's body becoming stronger and stronger. Finally, after a long breath, Xiao Han slowly opened his eyes. He gently opened his hands, and the black bead full of evil aura no longer existed. Seeing this, Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger both smiled with relief on their faces. Shui Binger asked with concern, Xiao Han, how do you feel now? What exactly is that black bead? Xiao Han stood up and said with a smile, that bead is the essence of the dark demon evil tiger, and it contains the power of evil and other attributes. Thanks to the power of the ice and fire dragon king in my body and your help, I was able to purify and absorb it. Now, that power has become a part of my body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116 Senior Sister is in Trouble. Lin Zhiruo was very happy to learn about Xiao Han's progress, but she was also a little worried. After all, the dark demon evil tiger was too evil. Xiao Han, it's a good thing to improve your strength, but you must also be careful of the potential impact of that power. After all, that is the essence of the dark demon evil tiger. If the evil attributes contained in it cannot be completely purified, it may affect your future cultivation path. Xiao Han nodded and said seriously, Mom, don't worry. During the refining process, the power of the fire dragon king in my body purified the evil energy in it, leaving only the part that is beneficial to me. Moreover, this power can coexist with the power of the ice and fire dragon king in my body, and there is no rejection. I believe that I can completely control it. Well, that's good. Shui Binger was on the side, with curiosity flashing in her eyes. Xiao Han, has your soul power improved? Xiao Han nodded. It has improved, but only by one level, which is less than I expected. It may be because it is restricted by the power of the two dragon kings in my body. Moreover, part of its energy is contained in the soul ring. However, compared with the improvement of soul power, I value the multi-attribute power it brings to me more. Multi-attribute power? What attributes? Xiao Han smiled and explained, you also saw it in the battle with the dark demon evil god tiger just now. In addition to power and evil attributes, it also has wind, lightning, time, and space attributes. The black and red light blade is a fusion of evil and wind attributes. The lightning attribute is fused into it, which produces an explosion. Its speed comparable to teleportation is a fusion of time and space attributes. There is also the most powerful evil gut hook at the tail, which can bring people into another terrifying space. If you are brought into the black hole space, you will definitely die. After listening to Xiao Han's explanation, Lin Zhiruo and Shui Binger were still frightened. They had just witnessed a black bead and black hole space that appeared after the death of the dark demon evil god tiger. The black hole space was like the eye of the evil god, emitting a strong evil aura that was frightening. Shui Binger then asked, Xiao Han, can you control the power of the 6 attributes now? Yes, you can combine it with the power of the extreme ice in my body. That's great. You are so strong now, and I am getting further and further away from you, Xiao Han said modestly. Binger, at your current age, you have achieved what you have now, which is already outstanding enough. I just have a better chance than you. Xiao Han knew that if he had not absorbed the 2 Dragon Balls, or if the dark demon evil god tiger had not been injured, he would not have been able to kill it. The sky gradually brightened. The black aura emerging from the fragments of the dark demon evil god tiger's body had condensed into shape. The 10,000-year soul ring with powerful energy was quietly suspended in the air. Lin Zhiruo sighed. That dark demon evil god tiger should have been cultivated for about 60,000 years. It's a pity to lose such a powerful 10,000-year soul ring. However, The evil energy contained in this soul ring is simply unbearable for ordinary soul masters. This evil energy can only be suppressed by powerful soul masters with fire or light attributes. Yet, there is another thing that is very strange. Such a powerful soul beast actually has no soul bones. When Xiao Han absorbed the dark demon evil god Pearl, Lin Zhiruo carefully examined the snow. She originally thought that the powerful soul beast would drop soul bones after death. But there was nothing. Xiao Han didn't care. Mom, forget about the soul bones. I am already very satisfied to be able to kill it successfully and avenge my parents and those dead soul masters. That's right. Your parents' great revenge has finally been avenged, and you have mastered his multiple attribute powers, which is perfect. Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han, her eyes full of relief and praise. The child she adopted has unknowingly become a man who stands tall and proud. Then, the three of them left the frozen forest. Half a month later, he returned to Xianxia City. After absorbing the dark demon evil god Pearl, Xiao Han's soul power broke through the 78th level. He planned to practice in seclusion for a period of time, striving to break through the 80th level as soon as possible and get the 8th soul ring. Xiao Han knew that according to the development of the timeline, Tang San was currently receiving secret special training from Tang Hao, and would be sent to the Slaughter City by Tang Hao for training. The Slaughter City is a good place to increase murderous aura, but without a strong background, it is impossible to get out of the Hell Road there. With Tang Hao as a backer, Tang San can naturally get out and obtain the domain of the god of killing. Tang San may even gain the favor of the god of Shura because of this. Xiao Han knew very well that Tang San had been beaten by him many times, and after he became stronger, he would definitely seek revenge on him. Therefore, he must continue to become stronger, so that he can deal with the revenge of Tang Hao and Tang San in the future. On this day, Xiao Han was about to tell Lin Zhiruo that he wanted to practice in seclusion, and saw her walk into the house angrily. Mom, what's wrong? Who has offended you again? Lin Zhiruo said angrily. I'm so angry. The academy is threatened by the damn Jin family again. Mom, is it the Jin family in our Xianxia city? Well, who else could it be except them? The Jin family is the richest and most powerful family in Xianxia city. Although it does not have as many disciples as the 7 major sects, it has become the local snake in Xianxia city, with an 86-level soul Douluo sitting in the seat. The head of the Jin family has a title bestowed by Emperor Zhu Yi and is a veritable aristocrat. Moreover, they have a close relationship with the royal family. The most profitable casinos, restaurants, high-end hotels and other entertainment industries in Xianxia City are all under their control. Xianxia College is open to civilians and does not charge fees for civilian children. As a result, the annual operation and maintenance is a huge expense. In addition to a small part of the expenditure from the royal family's allowance, most of it is sponsored by the nobles of Xiandao City. And the Jin family is the largest sponsor. Among those nobles, the richest Jin family has absolute say and is like a leader. Therefore, Xianxia College also has to look at the Jin family's face. Xiao Han wanted to find out the reason for the matter. Mom, what happened? Do you know Jin Lei? Jin Xianzhong's son. He actually specified that Liu Yu should marry him. Liu Yu didn't want to marry him, so she came to me and Ding Zhao, wanting us to help her. What? Hearing this news, Xiao Han was furious. Before, he had been staying in the college to practice, and he didn't care much about the things in the city, but he knew a little about it. Jin Lei is a famous playboy in Xianxia City. Relying on his family's wealth and power, he is rampant and evil in Xianxia City. Moreover, he is a little perverted, and there are many women who have been tortured to death by him. Shen Liu comes from an ordinary family in Xianxia City. Although she has reached the level of soul sect, she has no ability to compete with a rich and powerful Jin family. Xiao Han clenched his fists, and his eyes were murderous. Mom, I will never let senior sister Liu Yu fall into the hands of that bastard. Chapter 117, Going Alone to Tianjin Pavilion. It wasn't just Xiao Han who was angry. Lin Zhiruo and Ding Zhao were also angry. They had tolerated those nobles for a long time. Lin Zhiruo also knew that handing Shen Liu over to a bastard like Jin Lei was tantamount to pushing him into a fire pit. But they couldn't afford to offend the nobles in Xianxia City who provided them with financial sponsorship, especially the richest and most powerful Jin family. After all, Xianxia College had nearly 1,000 teachers and students to support, and the allowance from the Xiandao royal family alone was far from enough. However, They couldn't just ignore Shen Liuyu. Xiao Han, don't worry about this matter. Ding Zhao and I will find a way. Mom, didn't you say that the Jin family came to the academy to threaten you? Since they have already spoken, I'm afraid it won't be so easy to solve. Okay, let's deal with this matter. Anyway, I won't let Liu Yu fall into the hands of those bastards. Mom, even if you and Ding Zhao can save Sister Liu Yu this time, can you guarantee that they will not embarrass other girls in the future? The rich and powerful nobles have that kind of face. When will our Xianshu Academy stop looking at their faces? Lin Zhiruo sighed. Xiao Han, in this world, unless you become a real strong person, you will be limited by money and power. You will naturally understand it in the future. I know that strength can have everything. Lin Zhiruo patted Xiao Han's shoulder. Okay, don't think too much about it. Ding Zhao and I will take care of this matter. It's getting late, you should go to bed early. Yet. By the way, Mom, is Sister Liu Yu still in the academy? Yes, she's with Binger. Okay, I'll go find them tomorrow. Early the next morning, Xiao Han came to Xianshu College to find Shui Binger. Shen Liu was also at Shui Binger's residence. Seeing Xiao Han again, he could clearly feel the powerful aura on him. Xiao Han, it's only been 3 or 4 months, and you've become a lot stronger. Xiao Han smiled. Sister Liu, you're too kind. You're almost level 50, right? Not yet. Xiao Han's face suddenly changed, and he looked at Shui Binger. Binger, you also know about Sister Liu Yu's matter, right? Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Xiao Han nodded and looked at Shen Liu Yu again. Sister Liu Yu, don't worry, I will never let you fall into the hands of that bastard Jin Lei. Xiao Han, the Jin family is powerful and we can't afford to offend them. I know the two deans have tried their best. If that is my fate, I can only, no. I will take care of this matter. Not only for you, but also for other girls from ordinary families in the academy. Didn't my mother say that? The greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. As long as I am still a member of Xianshu College, I will never watch my senior sisters and junior sisters being bullied by the nobles. Xiao Han's tone was firm, and his eyes revealed a bit of fierceness. Shui Binger was a little worried when she saw this. She knew that with Xiao Han's current strength, no one in Xianshu City could stop him. Even the 86th level Soul Douluo of the Jin family might not be his opponent. But, after all, the Jin family is a noble family of the Xiandao Empire, with a title personally granted by Emperor Zhu Yi. If they offended them, the consequences would be disastrous. Xiao Han, what are you going to do? Binger, don't worry, I can ask His Royal Highness the Crown Prince for help. Even if I offend those nobles, I don't have to worry about the money, but will His Royal Highness the Crown Prince help you? The expenses of our academy are not a small amount, don't worry, I have my own way. Xiao Han's words were warm and powerful, calming Shen Liu Yu's restless mood. Xiao Han, thank you, Sister Liu Yu, there's no need to be polite to me. I just don't like them. Okay, let me handle this matter. You stay in the academy for the next few days, okay? Shen Liu and Shui Binger smiled at each other, and then they felt relieved. Then, Xiao Han found Lin Zhiruo. Mom, I've met Sister Liu Yu, let me handle this matter. Lin Zhiruo frowned. What are you going to do? Go find them, don't worry about it. I have my own way. If it doesn't work, I will go find His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and ask him to help me solve the money problem. In short, I hope you won't have to look at the faces of those nobles in the future. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince? If you didn't mention it, I almost forgot about it. Maybe he can really help. Then I will accompany you to Xiandao City. Mom, no need. Even if I have to go, I will go alone. Don't forget that I am no longer the child who needs your protection. Now I can protect you in the academy. Lin Zhiruo looked at Xiao Han, who was confident, and nodded with relief. Xiao Han, you have really grown up. You go ahead and do your work. I'll go and prepare, okay? Then, Xiao Han left Lin Zhiruo, thinking in his heart as he walked, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm going to get into trouble again. Let me do what you and Ding Zhao want to do but can't do for you. After leaving Xiandao Academy, Xiao Han went directly to the center of Xianshu City. The instigator of this incident was Jin Lei. Xiao Han wanted to find him and kill him to get rid of the harm for the people. Of course, he had thought of the consequences of this incident. After killing Jin Lei, he would have to face Jin Lei's father Jin Xianzhen and the 86th level Soul Douluo Jin Pen. The most serious consequence was being blamed by Emperor Zhu Yi. However, he didn't take these seriously at all. At worst, he would kill them all. Xiao Han didn't take Emperor Zhu Yi seriously either. He believed that with Jin Ringsu and Guangling Douluo around, Zhu Yi would not dare to touch him. Night fell. Xiao Han did not go home, but came to the largest entertainment venue in Xianshu City, Tianjin Pavilion. Tianjin Pavilion stands in the center of Xianshu City. It integrates casinos and hotels and is the most luxurious entertainment venue in the city. The magnificent exterior walls are even more dazzling in the night, flashing a dazzling light. Stepping into it, a strong breath of luxury hits you. The building is a hollow shape. The center of the first floor lobby is a casino, and the upper floors are hotels. Hundreds of dazzling crystal chandeliers are hung in the lobby, emitting soft and bright light, illuminating the entire space like daylight. The casino is bustling with people, and all kinds of gambling tables are scattered in an orderly manner, from the simplest ice and pagao to the complex roulette, attracting gamblers from all directions. Those gamblers are both ordinary people and soul masters. Xiao Han stepped into the hall with a firm look, as if all the prosperity and noise had nothing to do with him. He has only one goal: to find Jin Lei, not only to kill him, but also to seize the property of the Jin family. Xiao Han deliberately released his soul power, and the cold air emanating from him caused the temperature around him to drop sharply. As soon as he appeared, he attracted everyone's attention. Someone in the crowd recognized Xiao Han. Isn't this Xiao Han from Xianshu College? Is it Xiao Han, the genius soul master who led Xianshu College to win the championship of this year's senior college soul master competition? Yes, it's him. He actually led the team to defeat the powerful Wuhan Hall College team. How amazing! I heard that he is only 16 years old this year, but he has already reached the Soul King level, and he also has two 10,000-year soul rings. Everyone was talking about it, and their attention was focused on this chilly young man. The casino, which was originally bustling with people, gradually became quiet. Chapter 118, Killing Spree. Friends, today's two chapters are posted together, with a total of more than 4,600 words. Xiao Han's appearance changed the atmosphere in the casino hall, and the security personnel in the venue also noticed something strange. In a luxurious box on the second floor, Jin Lei was leaning on a soft sofa, playing with a dice inlaid with gems in his hand, closing his eyes and enjoying it. Several young women dressed in enchanting clothes surrounded him, some of them massaged his shoulders, and some of them rubbed his legs. Noticing that the downstairs suddenly became quiet, Jin Lei frowned unhappily. Seeing this, the attendant beside him immediately understood and bowed, saying, "Young master, I'll go down and take a look." Jin Lei waved his hand gently, and the attendant hurried downstairs. At this time, a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s walked towards Xiao Han. "Hey, isn't this our little hero from Xianshu College? Why are you so interested today that you actually come to our Tianjin Pavilion?" Xiao Han could feel that the middle-aged man was also a soul master, and there was a hint of sarcasm in his tone. Judging from his dress and behavior, he should be the manager of Tianjin Pavilion. However, Xiao Han did not take him seriously and said directly, "I'm here to find Jin Lei and ask him to come out and see me." As soon as this was said, there was an uproar at the scene. As the son of the richest man in Xianshu City, Jin Lei has a certain social status. There are not many people in Xianshu City who dare to call him by his name. But Xiao Han, a young soul master, did not care at all and seemed to not take Jin Lei seriously at all. The man felt a sense of hostility and murderous intent from Xiao Han's eyes, and immediately put away his smile and asked, "What do you want to do with our young master? Our young master doesn't see everyone. If you want to see our young master, you must at least say hello in advance. I am Manager Liu here. If you have anything to say, you can tell me first. The person I'm looking for is Jin Lei." "You are not qualified to ask the reason." Being humiliated in public by Xiao Han, Manager Liu's face changed and his eyes instantly became fierce. "It seems that you are here to cause trouble." As soon as Manager Liu finished speaking, dozens of men in black surrounded him. They were all security personnel of Tianjin Pavilion, and they were all soul masters. The atmosphere in the hall instantly became tense, and the gamblers retreated to the periphery. The movement in the hall also attracted the attention of the guests upstairs. Many people walked out of the box and watched from the fence. "That young man is so bold that he dared to cause trouble in Tianjin Pavilion. Yes, even if he is the son of the dean of Xianshu College, he can't do such a thing." "That's right, the Jin family is the largest sponsor of their college. If they offend the Jin family, will they have a good ending? The attendant returned to Jin Lei. Young master, there is a troublemaker here, Xiao Han from Xianshu College. Jin Lei frowned disdainfully. Xiao Han? The male student from Xianshu College. Yes, it's him. He asked to see you by name. If you don't want to see him, I'll kick him out now. Jin Lei waved his hand gently, signaling the attendant to stay calm. He seemed to have guessed Xiao Han's intention. Then he slowly stood up and walked to the window. His eyes penetrated the crowd and locked onto Xiao Han downstairs. Xiao Han faced dozens of soul masters alone, but he was not afraid at all. Seeing this, Jin Lei narrowed his eyes and sneered, "It's interesting that the kid from Xianshu College dared to come to my house. I want to see what this kid who is said to be so amazing is capable of. Come on, let me meet him." Accompanied by 2 attendants, Jin Lei left the box and slowly walked downstairs. In his opinion, Xiao Han was just a young boy who had just started out. Even if he had some abilities, he would never make any waves. Xiao Han's appearance added an unusual color to his boring life, and he wanted to find some fun in it. Dong dong dong. The tense atmosphere in the casino hall was broken by several heavy sounds of people coming down the stairs. Everyone looked at the stairs at the corner at the same time. Standing there were Jin Lei and his 2 personal attendants. Young master, Manager Liu was about to say something, but was interrupted by Jin Lei's hand. "I know everything. A guest is a guest. What are you doing? Why don't you leave?" "Yes, young master." Manager Liu and the group of people in black stepped aside. Xiao Han completely ignored the discussions and gazes around him. His eyes penetrated the crowd and looked directly at Jin Lei on the second floor. Only then did he see his appearance clearly. Jin Lei looked to be in his 30s, neither fat nor thin. He was wearing an exquisite golden brocade robe with complicated gold thread patterns embroidered on the lapels, showing his noble status. His face was not handsome, nor ugly. His squinting eyes and tightly pursed mouth gave people a sense of fierceness that was difficult to approach. At this time, the corners of his eyes were slightly raised, with a hint of cunning and cruelty, as if he was ready to play with his prey at any time. Xiao Han could sense the arrogance and hostility emanating from Jin Lei, but he was not afraid at all and was even more determined to get rid of Jin Lei. Jin Lei suddenly spoke. "Little brother Xiao Han won the Soul Master competition for Xianshu College, which is also a glory for our Xianshu city. You are a distinguished guest when you come to our Yonjin Pavilion. It's rare that you are interested. You can play freely tonight. I will give you 100,000 chips. If you lose, it's mine. If you win, you can take it away directly. Just have fun. In addition, you can pick any of the beauties upstairs. However, you have been staying in Xianshu College, which is full of beauties. I'm afraid these mediocre girls will hardly catch your eye." Jin Lei smiled, but his words were full of sarcasm. Seeing that Xiao Han was unmoved, Jin Lei continued, "Brother Xiao Han, do you think 100,000 chips are too little? Otherwise, I will give you some more. Anyway, our Jin family sponsors your college a large sum of money every year, so you don't care about this." Facing Jin Lei's sarcasm, Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. "Is it so great to be rich? You should know why I came here. My senior sister has clearly rejected you, but you shamelessly threatened our college with a sponsorship fee. What are nobles? Do you think I will look at your faces?" Xiao Han's words caused an uproar again. Who could have expected that this young man would be so arrogant, come to Yonjin Pavilion alone, and humiliate the young master of the Jin family in public? "For the sake of Dean Lin, I toast you a little. But I didn't expect you to refuse my toast and drink a forfeit." Jin Lei was completely enraged, revealing his ferocious face. Xiao Han remained calm. "Why are you so excited? I came to this casino just to gamble with you. Want to play, right? Good. I will play with you today to see what tricks you want to play. What do you want to bet with me?" "The thing your Jin family lacks the least is money, so I will gamble with you." Jin Lei smiled proudly. "No one in Xianshu City has ever dared to gamble with me, Jin Lei. You are the first. Interesting, I will accompany you. How do you gamble?" Seeing Jin Lei taking the bait, Xiao Han grinned and continued, "My chips are 3 priceless soul bones, one of which is a spiritual skull over 50,000 years old, which was obtained by the former Pope Jin's Unji who personally hunted a soul beast. Its value is immeasurable. If I lose, the 3 soul bones will be given to you, and senior sister Liu Iu and I will be at your disposal. If you want to match my bet, You have to pay a chip of tens of millions of gold soul coins. What do you think? Do you have the courage to gamble with me? Xiao Han's words, like thunder, made the scene explode, and everyone became restless again. There are many soul masters here, and their eyes looking at Xiao Han reveal greed. The 3 soul bones awarded as the champion of this soul master competition eventually fell into the hands of teachers and students of the Xianshu College team, and it has long been spread throughout Xianshu City. 4 soul masters, soul bones are hard to come by, and each one is like a treasure. The 3 soul bones awarded to the champion of the soul master competition are all over 10,000 years old and of excellent quality. The best one, the spiritual skull, is considered the best. The nobles of Xianshu City also coveted the 3 soul bones and were even willing to pay a high price to buy them, but they were all rejected by the 2 teens. The nobles didn't know who had the 3 soul bones. Xiao Han's words aroused everyone's speculation. Did the 3 soul bones he mentioned correspond to the 3 soul bones awarded to the champion of the soul master competition? Jin Lei's eyes also revealed greed. He is also a soul master, with a golden eagle martial soul, but his soul power is only level 43. He knows that even if he has more money, it is difficult to buy soul bones. Not only him, his father Jin Xianzhen, who is at the level of soul saint, has no soul bones, and only his grandfather Jin Peng has a 10,000-year soul bone. The bet Xiao Han made is indeed very tempting. However, the chips that Jin Lei needs to pay are also very high. 10 million family property is no joke, and Jin Lei can't make the decision. However, now that things have come to this, in front of so many people, Jin Lei, who has always been arrogant, can't admit defeat in front of Xiao Han. Xiao Han has not yet proposed a specific bet. Jin Lei smiled triumphantly and asked, "You proposed a big bet, I can bet with you. But you have to tell me the specific bet." "Right, it's very simple, let's have a duel. I heard that you are still a soul master in your 40s, and you are not qualified to be my opponent. You can choose someone here to duel with me for you, anyone is fine." Seeing Jin Lei falling into his trap step by step, Xiao Han did not forget to humiliate him. Being ridiculed by Xiao Han again, Jin Lei was angry, but more excited. And suddenly laughed out loud. "It's getting more and more interesting. Okay, I'll bet with you." Jin Lei knew that when the Soul Master competition ended, Xiao Han was still a Battle Soul King in his 50s. He believed that it was impossible for Xiao Han to make much progress in just 3 or 4 months. Therefore, he was sure to win this bet. The scene was boiling again. Everyone who lives in Xianshu City knows that Jin Lei's 2 personal attendants are quite powerful, both at the Soul Saint level, one at level 75 and the other at level 76. If Xiao Han challenges them, it would be tantamount to seeking death. Would those 3 soul bones be given away for free? In the upcoming duel, no one is optimistic about Xiao Han. They also don't know where Xiao Han got the confidence to dare to challenge Jin Lei in such a hopeless way. Jin Lei and the attendant standing on both sides smiled at each other. He believed that even if Xiao Han had 2 10,000-year soul rings, he could not be the opponent of the Soul Saint level attendant. The attendant at level 76 stood up. "Young master, let me take care of this ignorant brat for you, okay? Be gentle. Although he offended me first, I still have to give face to Xianshu College." Jin Lei winked at the attendant, as if telling him that as long as he didn't kill Xiao Han, it didn't matter what he did. The attendant nodded in understanding. Xiao Han suddenly pointed to his forehead and said, "The spiritual skull is right here. If I lose, I need to take it out of it, and I will definitely die. So we have to increase the stakes and bet both of our lives. In addition, the content of the bet must be written down in black and white." Hearing this, Jin Lei was stunned and furious. "Xiao Han, I thought you were here to cause trouble, but I didn't expect you to die. From your tone, are you going to fight me to the death today?" "That's right, okay, very good, then I will fulfill your wish." Jin Lei ordered people to bring paper and pen to write down the life and death bet. Everyone looked at Xiao Han and sighed. This kid dared to provoke the young master of the Jin family. Isn't he looking for death? Who said it wasn't? He will die today. He is really young and frivolous. Jin Lei's men quickly wrote a bet in 2 copies, pressed their fingerprints, and handed one of them to Xiao Han. Xiao Han looked carefully and was very satisfied. He also pressed his handprint. He was willing to accept the loss. The government had no right to interfere with the bet between the 2 parties. Even if Xiao Han killed Jin Lei, He would have a point if Emperor Xiao blamed him. Jinlei looked at the guests around him and said, "Please help me, Jin, to be your witness. Today's bet was proposed by Xiao Han. If anything unexpected happens, it has nothing to do with me, Jin, Mr. Jin, don't worry. We are all witnesses to this bet," everyone agreed. Jinlei nodded proudly, looked at Xiao Han, and said impatiently, "This place is too small, not conducive to a duel. Let's go to a spacious place, no need. It's effortless to deal with you trash. My arrows are fast. It will be over in 1 or 2 rounds. Jinlei was humiliated again and could not bear it any longer. "Looking for death? Go and kill him." As Jinlei's voice fell, the attendant instantly released his martial spirit and spirit ring. His martial spirit was a round blade, emitting blood-red light, and 7 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple and 3 black, were spread out around him one by one. Xiao Han also released his martial spirit and soul rings. The moment they saw Xiao Han's soul rings, everyone was shocked. They saw that there were 7 soul rings of purple, 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 black, black, black and red surrounding Xiao Han. The 3-color light on the soul rings was so dazzling that it was impossible to look directly at it. Everyone couldn't believe that the boy in front of them was actually a 7-ringed battle soul sage, and had such a heaven-defying soul ring configuration. Starting with 1,000-year soul ring, 3 10,000-year soul rings, and 100,000-year soul ring, all appeared on a 16-year-old boy, which was really too explosive. Only 4 months had passed since the Soul Master competition. In such a short period of time, Xiao Han grew from a Soul King to a Soul Sage. No one knew how he did it. Only then did they understand why Xiao Han dared to challenge Jinlei alone. Jinlei realized that he had fallen into the trap that Xiao Han had set for him. He was so frightened that he didn't care about the bet. "Quick! Stop him! Protect me!" As soon as Jinlei finished speaking, he felt himself being restrained by a cold force, and his body could not move. Although the 2 soul saints on his left and right had activated their martial souls, they were also frozen by a layer of hard ice. The entire casino was like a frozen world, and those ordinary people and soul masters with low soul power were all shivering with cold. It turned out that Xiao Han activated his 100,000-year left arm soul bone skill, freeze. When the martial soul true body was released, this soul skill had a stronger power. Bang bang, the 2 soul saint level attendants, relying on their own powerful soul power, broke through the ice. But what greeted them were dozens of invisible arrows. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Before the 2 soul saints could launch a counterattack, they were shot through the body by invisible arrows one after another. Xiao Han's figure flashed and instantly came in front of Jinlei. The ice arrow in his hand suddenly turned into a 3-meter-long spear. The tip of the spear was pointed at Jinlei's head. With a light flick, he took off the head. The head rolled to the ground, and the blood was quickly frozen. Jinlei's 2 eyes widened before he died, and people dared not look directly at them. This scene happened too quickly, and no one expected it. Xiao Han restrained his soul power. The bodies of Jinlei and the 2 servants were lying on the stairs. Supervisor Liu and hundreds of people in black were frightened, and no one dared to step forward. "I have no grudges against you. If you don't want to die, get out of the way." Xiao Han's voice was not loud, but it was full of unquestionable majesty. Those people consciously made way. Xiao Han picked up Jinlei's head and walked straight towards the Jin mansion. Chapter 119. Anyone who stands in my way will die. Xiao Han was holding Jinlei's head, walking swaggeringly on the street at night. His face was calm, without any emotional fluctuations. Seeing this, the pedestrians in the downtown were all frightened and hurried to make way. No one dared to believe that the young master of the Jin family had his head chopped off. They speculated on Xiao Han's identity and watched him pass by in horror. They arrived at the Jin mansion. It was a building with carved beams and painted rafters. 2 stone lions in front of the door seemed to be examining the people in front of them. There were 2 guards standing on both sides of the gate. Seeing Xiao Han walking straight over with a head in his hand, one of them shouted, "Stop, who are you?" Xiao Han did not answer, and threw Jinlei's head over without any hesitation. The 2 people were startled. The ice wrapped around the head broke instantly. Seeing Jinlei's face, the 2 were shocked. "It's the young master. You killed our young master." Xiao Han remained calm. "That's right, I killed him. Why don't you go in and inform Jin Xiansun?" Xiao Han walked towards the 2 men before he finished speaking. The 2 men felt the powerful aura of Xiao Han, trembled with fear, and ran into the house quickly. Sir, Jin Xiantan drank some wine tonight and was about to rest when he heard shouting outside the house. He shouted impatiently, "What's the matter? Why are you so flustered, sir? It's bad. The young master, he was killed." "What?" Jin Xiantan sat up immediately and sobered up. "What did you just say?" "Liar was killed." "Yes, sir. The young master's head was chopped off, and the man was at the door." Hearing this, Jin Xiantan couldn't believe it. Jin Lei was always guarded by 2 soul saint level attendants. If he could still lose his life like this, it means that the person who came was definitely not an ordinary person. "Who is this? How dare you kill my son? I will tear him into pieces." Jin Xiantan staggered 2 steps uncontrollably, but then he steadied his pace and rushed out in anger. At this time, Xiao Han had already arrived at the Jin family compound, and Jin Lei's head was in front of him. Dozens of men in black surrounded Xiao Han, but no one dared to step forward because of the strong aura of Xiao Han. Jin Xiantan rushed over and saw the head on the ground. He recognized that it was his son Jin Lei, and he was immediately furious, with anger in his eyes. "Who are you, bastard? How dare you kill my son?" When he saw Xiao Han's appearance clearly, Jin Xiantan felt even more unbelievable. He never thought that his son would die at the hands of a teenager. The teenager in front of him looked only about 16 or 17 years old, but the strong aura emanating from him was no less than that of a soul saint. Xiao Han took out a gambling agreement unhurriedly and shook it. "It's written clearly in black and white. Jin Lei lost the bet with me. According to the agreement, he lost his life, and also lost tens of millions of properties of your Jin family. The guests of your Jin pavilion and the servants of your Jin family all witnessed the gambling. You can't deny it. Bring me the money." Xiao Han had just finished speaking when another group of people in black came in from the door. It was Director Liu who came with the soul masters of the casino. "Sir, he is Xiao Han from Xianshu College. He is the one who killed the young master and the Wang brothers." Hearing this, Jin Xiantan was shocked again. He still couldn't believe that the young man in front of him could kill 2 soul masters of the soul saint level. Director Liu then reminded, "Sir, he has reached the soul saint level and has a 100,000-year soul ring. Don't be careless." "What?" Jin Xiantan's eyes widened. Everything he experienced tonight was like a dream, and every one of them made him feel incredible. Jin Xiantan didn't dare to be careless. After all, he was only a level 63 soul emperor. However, there were 2 soul saint level masters and nearly 100 soul masters in his mansion. "This bastard killed my lair. I'll give 1,000,000 to anyone who can kill him." The men in black rushed forward and blocked Xiao Han's retreat. The 2 white-haired old men led the way. There were many masters of Soul Sect and Soul King among them. Xiao Han knew that the 2 old men should be the strongest soul masters in this group. Facing hundreds of soul masters alone, Xiao Han's face was not afraid at all. "Anyone who stands in my way will die." As soon as Xiao Han finished speaking, a biting cold air condensed between his hands. The moment the ice-shaking bow and arrow appeared, the temperature of the entire mansion dropped sharply. 7 soul rings, 3 purple, 3 black and 1 red, surrounded him, releasing a dazzling brilliance. The unique blood-red light of the 100,000-year soul ring was terrifying. Seeing such a powerful aura, the 2 old men did not dare to act rashly. "What are you all standing there for? Why don't you kill him now?" Jin Xiantan's roar startled everyone. The 2 old men looked at each other and attacked Xiao Han together. Seeing this, the other soul masters also released their martial spirits and prepared to attack Xiao Han. With a flash of the 3rd soul ring on his body, Xiao Han instantly spread his ice wings. As he soared into the air, the 70,000-year right arm soul bone was activated, and the bowstring was pulled to the full moon. The 2nd soul skill, 10,000 arrows, was launched. Countless arrows condensed from extreme ice, with piercing coldness and unparalleled power, whistled down from the sky. With a joint amplification of the 3rd soul skill and the right arm soul bone, the power of this soul skill was greatly enhanced. Those arrows were dense like rain, and each one flashed a heart-pounding blue light, illuminating the night as if it were daytime. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the sound of arrows cutting through the air came one after another. With the exclamations and disparate cries of the soul masters, the Jin family compound instantly turned into a sure field. Those soul masters who were originally preparing to besiege Xiao Han seemed so small and powerless in the face of this sudden rain of arrows. Even though the soul masters at the Soul Sect and Soul King levels had impressive strength, They could only barely resist a few arrows under Xiao Han's almost overwhelming attack power, and then they were pierced through the bodies by the subsequent arrows and fell in a pool of blood. Xiao Han's attack did not stop, and countless arrows poured down again. Those arrows condensed from the extreme ice were not only extremely sharp, but also contained a cold air that could freeze the soul. Many people were frozen the moment they came into contact with the arrows. And those soul masters who tried to dodge, because the number of arrows was too large, it was difficult to find a gap. And they were finally shot mercilessly. In the courtyard, screams were endless. Under the baptism of these 2 rounds of arrow rain, the black-clothed team of the Jin family quickly shrank, and fallen figures and splattered blood could be seen everywhere. Although the 2 white-haired old men were quite powerful, they were caught off guard by Xiao Han's 2 consecutive rounds of fierce attacks. They never expected that the young man in front of them would have such a strong attack power. Chapter 120 Killing Crazy. Xiao Han stood on the air, his spirit rings shining, like a god of war in the dark night. No one could shake his edge. After resisting Xiao Han's rain of arrows, the 2 old soul saints were ready to launch a counterattack. Roar, a deafening roar, the lion martial spirit body came down with a bang. The lion was huge, with knotted muscles and red eyes, like a burning flame, exuding a violent breath. Another soul saint also released his martial spirit body. His martial spirit was a cheetah, with a slender body, strong limbs, and eyes flashing with a faint blue light. The lion spirit master roared, like a moving mountain, pressing towards Xiao Han. Its waving front paws brought bursts of tearing sounds, which seemed to have amazing power. The cheetah spirit master also flashed out, leaving a residual image in the air, so fast that people could not catch its whereabouts. Facing the siege of the 2 soul saints, Xiao Han's face was still as calm as water. His eyes flashed with a cold light, as if everything was under his control. The weapon soul true body, the ice bow and arrow, suddenly unfolded in his hand. The cold bow and arrow seemed to be able to penetrate all defenses in the world, releasing a heart-pounding chill. The 100,000-year left-arm soul bone skill suddenly activated, and an extremely powerful ice force suddenly erupted from him, and the space within 100 meters was instantly frozen, and even the air was solidified. The huge lion and cheetah were instantly frozen into ice sculptures under this sudden ice freeze, unable to move. However, although the ice freeze is strong, it is only temporary. After all, the 2 old men have reached the soul saint level, and have released the martial soul true body, and both offense and defense have reached the peak state. With a sound of crackling, the surface of the ice sculpture began to crack. With the powerful strength of the Bear Master Soul Master, he was the first to break the ice and regained his freedom. But at this moment, Xiao Han had completed the preparations for the next attack. The ice bow and arrow in his hand condensed the extreme coldness, and an ice explosion arrow quietly took shape. The arrow shot out of the bow and instantly shot at the Lion Soul Master. The speed was so fast that even the Cheetah Soul Master, who broke through the ice on the other side, felt a palpitation. Boom! The moment the ice arrow touched the Lion Soul Master's body, it exploded violently, and a powerful shock wave spread out from the explosion point. The Lion Soul Master's body was torn to pieces in the explosion, and even the martial soul's true body was not spared. A generation of soul saints fell. Seeing this, the Cheetah Soul Master was shocked. He didn't expect Xiao Han's attack to be so terrifying. He didn't dare to hold back anymore. His figure passed through the air like a ghost, trying to escape from this land of death. However, Xiao Han's speed was faster than him. Since absorbing the dark demon evil god Pearl, Xiao Han's speed has made a qualitative leap, and his straight sprint is comparable to teleportation. Xiao Han appeared in front of the Cheetah Soul Master without any warning. At this moment, the ice arrow in his hand turned into a sharp spear, and the tip of the spear flashed with cold light, pointing directly at the vital point of the Cheetah Soul Master. "You can't escape," Xiao Han's voice rang in the ears of Cheetah Soul Master. Like the sentence of the god of death. Cheetah Soul Master's heart trembled, and he tried his best to dodge the attack, but in the end he was still a step too slow. The spear pierced his chest, and blood gushed out. Cheetah Soul Master screamed and fell from the air. Another soul saint fell. Jin Xianzhen stood not far away and witnessed all this, his heart filled with fear and despair. He never thought that Xiao Han would have such a strong attack power, and 2 more soul saints died in his hands. All this happened too fast. "Why do you do this to our Jin family? My father will never forgive you." Jin Xianzhen's voice trembled. He knew that he had no way out, so he could only use his 86th level old father Jin Peng to intimidate Xiao Han. However, Jin Peng was not in Xianxia City at this time. Xiao Han did not answer Jin Xianzhen's question, but just looked at him coldly. Jin Xianzhen is the patriarch of the Jin family. He relied on his power to cover the sky with one hand in Xianxia City and did all kinds of bad things. Xiao Han wanted him to pay the price for his actions. Seeing the tragic death of the two soul saints, Jin Xianzhen knew that he was doomed. He no longer hesitated, and the golden eagle martial spirit spread its wings and flew into the sky, trying to escape from the Jin mansion and find Jin Peng. Want to run? That's not that easy, Xiao Han snorted coldly, and the sixth soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The moment he released the bowstring, a nice arrow pierced the night sky like lightning and went straight to Jin Xianzhen. The surface of the arrow flashed with dazzling lightning, which was a fusion of ice and lightning, containing explosive power. Jin Xianzhen flew at high speed in the air, trying to avoid this attack. However, he suddenly felt as if he was suppressed by an invisible force, and his body became stiff. The ice arrow came too fast, and Jin Xianzhen had no time to react. The arrow penetrated his body directly when it touched his body. The explosive power of ice and lightning tore his body to pieces. The golden eagle martial spirit also disappeared in the explosion. Jin Xianzhen was killed mercilessly by Xiao Han. Xiao Han stood on the air, looking down at everything under his feet. The Jin mansion was in a mess at this moment, with constant wailing. The living soul masters were trembling with fear. Xiao Han said coldly, Jin Xianzhen and Jin Lei are dead. I will let you go today. If you dare to do evil in Xianxia City in the future, I will definitely tear you into pieces. Also, tell Jin Peng to rush to me. I'll wait for him in Xianxia City. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he turned into a residual image and disappeared into the sky. Those soul masters escaped from death and then reacted. Hurry up and go to Nanshan to find Master Jin. After doing all this, Xiao Han went straight back home. When Lin Zhiruo saw Xiao Han, she immediately realized that something was wrong. Xiao Han, where have you been? Why did you come back so late? Mom, I'm sorry, I got you into trouble again. I did something big tonight. Lin Zhiruo frowned, feeling something was wrong. What big thing? I killed Jin Lei and Jin Xianzhen, and also killed 4 soul saints and many soul masters in their family. What? You? Lin Zhiruo was shocked. She didn't expect Xiao Han to do such a shocking thing. Mom, don't worry, I did this with a plan. Then, Xiao Han took out the bet he had made with Jin Lei and told Lin Zhiruo the details of what happened. After listening to Xiao Han's story, Lin Zhiruo's face was solemn. She knew that this matter was no small matter. Xiao Han, now that things have come to this, there is no point in saying more. What you did is equivalent to what I did. You killed Jin Xianzhen and his son. Jin Peng will not let it go and will definitely come to seek revenge on you. When the time comes, I will face it with you. Mom, I am responsible for my own actions. What the Jin family did is intolerable, and I am just doing justice for heaven. If Jin Peng comes looking for me, I will kill him too. Chapter 121 The Fury of the Golden Eagle. Xianxia City changed overnight. Xiao Han's name swept the whole city like a violent storm, becoming the focus of people's hot discussion. The boy, who was only 16 years old, slaughtered Jin Lei and Jin Xianzhen of the Jin family by himself, and also eliminated 4 soul saints and dozens of soul masters of the Jin family. Such a record, even if placed on the entire Douluo continent, is enough to make people jaw-dropping. People were talking about it in the streets and alleys. Xiao Han from Xianxia College has such an amazing soul ring configuration, 3 purple, 3 black, and 100,000-year soul ring. How is this possible? He is only 16 years old. How did he do it? The Jin family has hid a wall this time. I didn't expect that a little boy would have such terrifying strength. Xiao Han's feat not only shocked the residents of Xianxia City, but also made those soul masters feel in awe. After all, in such a world where the strong are respected, it undoubtedly requires great courage and strength to be able to fight and defeat so many masters by one's own strength. Xiao Han also understood that the legendary powerful 86th level soul Douluo Jin Peng would not give up. But he was not afraid. Early in the morning, Xiao Han came to Xianxia College. His appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention. This year's martial soul awakening ceremony had just passed, and the college had recruited a new batch of new students. Whether they knew Xiao Han or not, they all looked at him with awe. Xiao Han smiled and greeted those students, as if nothing had happened last night. Shui Binger and Shen Liuai were surprised to see Xiao Han. Xiao Han, did you really kill Jin Lei and Jin Xianzun? Shui Binger's voice was filled with a hint of disbelief. When they left yesterday, Xiao Han did not show any abnormality. However, his actions last night were beyond everyone's imagination. Shen Liuai also looked at Xiao Han in shock. She never thought that Xiao Han would go to the Jin mansion alone and kill the Jin family father and son. Xiao Han nodded and smiled. Yes, I did it. There was no trace of pride or boasting in Xiao Han's tone, but only revealed a kind of indifference and calmness. Shen Liuai and Shui Binger looked at each other. They didn't expect Xiao Han's strength to be so terrifying. Then, she turned to look at Xiao Han, tears in her eyes, with a trace of guilt. Xiao Han, thank you. For me, you offended the Jin family. Jin Peng will not let you go. Moreover, you killed the Baron of the Empire, and the Emperor will also punish you. I'm sorry, I hurt you, Sister Liuai. I said that I did this not only for you, but also for the commoner girls who were forced by their nobles. I am doing justice for the heavens, which is a good thing. Even if Jin Peng comes to me, I am not afraid. Moreover, this time I am outsmarting him. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he told Shui Binger and Shen Liuai everything that happened in Jin Pavilion and Jin Mansion last night. The father and son of the Jin family relied on their power to cover the sky with one hand in Xianshu City. They committed many evils and deserved to die. From now on, we at Xianshu College don't have to look at anyone's face. Xiao Han, Jin Peng will come for revenge sooner or later. You'd better be careful. Yes, I know, I'm waiting for him. Just as the three were talking, a deafening cry suddenly came from the sky. Everyone looked up and saw a huge golden eagle hovering over the college. The wings of the golden eagle spread out, like a golden cloud, covering the sky and the sun. The sharp eyes were like two bright blue gems, flashing a heart-pounding light. It was Jin Peng's martial spirit. Everyone knew that he came to avenge his son and grandson. He was powerful, and at this moment he was obviously extremely angry. The giant eagle in the sky made the teachers and students of Xianshu College feel a huge pressure. Xiao Han, you dared to kill my son and my grandson. Today I will make you pay with blood. Jin Peng's voice echoed in the air like thunder, spreading throughout the entire Xianshu city. The deep voice was filled with endless anger and murderous intent, which made people feel terrified. People gathered on both sides of the street, looking up at the huge golden eagle hovering over Xianshu College, their hearts filled with worry and anxiety. The appearance of Jin Peng meant that a storm of killing was coming, and the storm was likely to sweep across the entire Xianshu College. People were talking about it. Xiao Han killed many people from the Jin family last night, including Jin Lei and Jin Xianzun, as well as 4 soul saints and dozens of soul masters. Jin Peng will never let him go. Jin Xianzun is a baron of the empire. This is a serious crime. The emperor will punish him if he knows. Alice, although Xiao Han is brave, he is still too young. I'm afraid he will be in danger this time. Yes, Jin Peng is an 86th level soul Douluo and the most powerful person in Xianshu City. How can Xiao Han be his opponent? Not only Xiao Han, Xianshu College will probably suffer this time. Once Jin Peng gets angry, he won't care about the college. He might just destroy the entire college. I just hope Xiao Han can survive this disaster. After all, he is a rare genius in a century and the pride of our Xianshu city. It would be a pity if he died like this. At the same time, there was a tense atmosphere in Xianshu College. Teachers and students walked out of the classrooms and dormitories one after another, looking up at the golden eagle that covered the sky, their hearts filled with fear and anxiety. They knew that this storm was unavoidable. At this moment, 2 figures appeared in the sky. They were Ding Zhao and Lin Zhiruo. Brother Jin, listen to me. Ding Zhao, this matter has nothing to do with you. Please get out of the way. Xiao Han killed my children and grandchildren and robbed my Jin family's property. I will never let him go. If you insist on stopping me, don't blame me for being ruthless. Jin Peng was furious and determined, not caring about the old feelings at all. Lin Zhiruo said, Senior Jin, my son killed the man. If you have any problems, come to me. Don't hurt innocent people. Jin Peng glared at Lin Zhiruo and snorted coldly. You really raised a good son. Well, today let you and your son pay for my children and grandchildren's lives. A nice blue figure suddenly flashed into the air. Jin Peng, your children and grandchildren have committed many evil deeds and deserve to die. I am just getting rid of harm for the people. If you want to avenge them, just come, Xiao Han, Lin Zhiruo shouted out with some concern. Xiao Han said calmly, Dean Zhao, Mom, I am responsible for my own actions and I don't want to implicate you in the academy. Let me settle this with him. Please trust me. Jin Peng suddenly laughed. Arrogant boy. I will cut you into pieces. Chapter 122, Crushing Contra. Seeing Xiao Han was confident, Dean Zhao and Lin Zhiruo both stepped aside. Although Lin Zhiruo believed in Xiao Han, she was still a little worried and was ready to fight at any time. The atmosphere in the sky was extremely tense. Jin Peng's martial soul body covered the sky and the sun, and the huge golden eagle wings spread out, and each feather seemed to contain infinite power. Xiao Han was suspended in the air, facing Jin Peng. His eyes were firm and fearless. The Xianbing bow and arrow shone with cold light in his hand. 7 soul rings of purple, 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 black, 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 and red unfolded around him in turn, with 3-color light, dazzling. The first soul ring reached 1,000 years, the 4th soul ring reached 10,000 years, and the 7th soul ring reached 100,000 years. Such a heaven-defying soul ring configuration once again shocked everyone present. Seeing the 100,000-year soul ring blooming with red light, Jin Peng's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise, but it was immediately replaced by greed. 100,000-year soul ring is taken from 100,000-year soul beast, and the death of 100,000-year soul beast will definitely bring 100,000-year soul bone. Jin Peng learned about the details of Xiao Han's bet with Jin Lei at Xinjing Pavilion, and knew that Xiao Han had 3 soul bones, and that the spiritual skull that was more than 50,000 years old had been fused by him. In other words, Xiao Han might have 2 soul bones in his body, and both were valuable. Jin Peng said tentatively, Boy, if I'm not mistaken, you have at least 2 soul bones. Very good, then use your life and those 2 soul bones to repay the debt you owe to the Jin family. Xiao Han looked at Jin Peng coldly. I do have 2 soul bones, it depends on whether you have the ability to take them, humph. Arrogant. Although your soul ring configuration is strong, in the face of absolute strength, everything is false. Give me back the lives of my children and grandchildren. Jin Peng's voice was like thunder, resounding through the sky. Then, he flapped his wings suddenly, and a gust of wind swept in. Jin Peng tentatively activated his second soul skill, 1,000 Feather Meteor Slash. Golden blades of light swung out from the wings of the golden eagle, like a meteor shower, flying towards Xiao Han. Each blade of light contained Jin Peng's powerful soul power, sharp and tough. Faced with such intensive attacks, Xiao Han did not retreat. His second soul skill, 10,000 arrows, was also activated. Countless ice blue arrows shot out from the true ice bow and met those golden blades of light. The arrows and light blades collided in the air, causing bursts of violent explosions. The interweaving of blue ice and golden light made the entire sky tremble. In the first tentative confrontation, the 2 sides were evenly matched, and Jin Peng did not gain an advantage. He looked at Xiao Han, with a flash of surprise in his eyes. He did not expect that this young man's strength was so strong that he could easily resist the 1,000 Feather Meteor Slash he performed in the state of his martial soul true body. Boy, you do have the capital to be arrogant. It seems that I have to show my real ability. Jin Peng snorted coldly, and his left leg suddenly flashed. The golden light flashed and was captured by Xiao Han. Xiao Han was surprised and happy. He guessed that there was a soul bone in Jin Peng's left leg. With the activation of the left leg soul bone, combined with the 5th soul skill, Speed Phantom, Jin Peng's speed instantly reached its peak. The golden figure shuttled through the air, as fast as lightning. When performing this soul skill, Jin Peng can condense the soul power into the wings, forming a guillotine-like air wave, slashing at the opponent. He used this move with the intention of killing Xiao Han in one fell swoop. Faced with such a sharp attack, Xiao Han quickly released the 70,000-year-old right arm soul bone, increasing the strength of his right arm while opening the defense. A layer of hard ice condensed on his body surface, like a layer of blue armor. Although this layer of armor condensed from extreme ice could not match the absolute defense of the left arm soul bone, it is enough to withstand the attack of the Soul Douluo level Soul Master's 10,000-year soul skills. The golden airwaves hit the ice armor, and although they sparked sparks, they did not threaten this layer of defense. What a strong defense! Seeing this, Jin Peng's eyes flashed with surprise, but then became cold and ruthless. No matter what, he must put Xiao Han to death. If he can't break that layer of defense in one go, then attack more times. Jin Peng's figure moved again, and a series of golden afterimages quickly passed through the air. His speed was too fast. Dean Zhao, Lin Zhiruo, and the teachers and students of Xianshu College who were watching the game could not see his figure clearly. With his keen intuition and extraordinary reaction speed, Xiao Han constantly adjusted his position and was ready to launch a counterattack at any time. Jin Peng's speed was too fast, and Xiao Han's arrows could not lock on him. However, he had a way to deal with Jin Peng. With a sudden flash of the fifth soul ring on his body, a cold arrow was shot out. The sky suddenly became windy and dark. After absorbing the dark demon evil god Pearl, Xiao Han was able to integrate a wind element and more powerful power into his eyes. After integrating wind and power, the fifth soul skill Blizzard Arrow has a stronger attack range and power. The cold arrow seemed to carry the extreme coldness and violent wind force, cutting through the sky and pointing directly at the golden afterimage. Then, a powerful storm emerged out of thin air, with the arrow as the center, and quickly expanded to form an ice and snow vortex with a diameter of 100 meters. In this vortex, the wind and snow were mixed, and the cold air was pressing, as if it could swallow all living things. Jin Peng was originally flying in the air at a very fast speed, trying to find Xiao Han's flaws, but was enveloped by this sudden blizzard vortex. He immediately felt an invisible pressure exerted on him, and his speed slowed down. What kind of soul skill is this? The sudden outbreak of the ice storm caught Jin Peng off guard. Even a soul Douluo level warrior like him felt a huge threat. The blizzard vortex continued to rotate, and the wind and snow inside it became more and more dense, and the temperature dropped sharply. Jin Peng had to release his soul power to resist the invasion of the cold air. But the temperature in the ice storm was getting lower and lower. His feathers began to freeze, and the golden luster gradually dimmed in the cold wind, and each flap of his wings became heavier. What frightened Jin Peng even more was that an invisible force began to erode his soul power protection, as if to devour his martial soul body and soul together. Xiao Han had quietly integrated the devouring power of the dark demon evil god Pearl into the ice storm. The ice and snow in the storm gradually became dim, and the color turned into deep blue, like an endless abyss. Damn it! How could I, Jin Peng, fall into the hands of a young man? Jin Peng roared, and his soul power burst out. His wings suddenly flapped, and a powerful soul power shock wave spread around, trying to break through the shackles of this terrifying vortex. However, the power of the dark demon evil god Pearl was fused into the blizzard, and its power had long exceeded the scope of ordinary soul skills. The vortex not only did not weaken due to Jin Peng's counterattack, but became more violent, and the sound of the wind and snow was like 1,000 horses galloping, deafening. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, Changing the Fate of the Academy. Jin Peng struggled with all his might, trying to break free from the whirlpool of the blizzard. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly became extremely cold, and the 100,000-year-old left-arm soul bone's ice freezing skill was activated. In the sky, the vortex originally formed by the wind and snow suddenly glowed brightly, and an extremely strong chill burst out from it. Whether it was the raging wind and snow or the space around Jin Peng, they were instantly frozen into crystal-clear ice. Jin Peng felt an irresistible chill invading his bones. His martial soul body actually began to freeze inch by inch under this power. The golden wings, sharp claws, and his proud head were all tightly wrapped in a thick layer of ice, as if frozen in time at this moment. No. This is impossible, Jin Peng's voice echoed in his mind, full of despair and unwillingness. But all his struggle seemed so powerless at this moment. Xiao Han had already completed the preparations for the next attack. He tightly grasped the true ice bow, the fourth soul ring on his body shone, and the arrow with cold light was ready to be fired on the bowstring. This arrow was not only wrapped with the ultimate power of ice, but also contained terrifying energy that was about to explode. Go to hell, Xiao Han released the bowstring. The cold arrow was like a wild horse that had broken free from its reins, with a sound of whistling wind, accurately hitting the frozen Jin Peng. Boom! A deafening roar. The moment the ice arrow touched the ice sculpture, it burst out with dazzling light and terrifying shock waves. Ice fragments flew everywhere, like thousands of sharp blades, cutting the surrounding space into pieces. The once invincible Jin Peng was blown to pieces. A golden light flashed from the center of the explosion. Xiao Han flew over quickly and sucked it into his palm with his soul power. Looking closely, it was indeed a soul bone. When the light dissipated, Jin Peng's figure no longer existed, leaving only a messy battlefield and the chill in the air that had not yet dissipated. The teachers and students of Xianshu College witnessed this shocking scene and were all dumbfounded. They realized that Xiao Han already had enough power to rewrite the pattern of Xianshu College. Many people in Xianshu City also saw the scene above Xianshu College and were deeply shocked. Who would have thought that Xiao Han, who was only 16 years old, could kill the most powerful soul master in Xianshu City, the 86th level Jin Peng, by himself in just 2 or 3 rounds. Xiao Han became the strongest person in Xianshu City. Under the gaze of everyone, Xiao Han restrained his soul power and came to Dean Zhao and Lin Zhiruo. Mom, Dean, I have to go to the Jin Mansion first. Please take care of the things here. Well, go quickly. Then, Xiao Han found Shui Binger and Shen Liuyu and took them to the Jin Mansion. Jin Lei and Jin Xianzhen are dead, but when Jin Peng was still alive, no one dared to touch the property of the Jin family. Now that Jin Peng is dead, the Jin Mansion has completely lost its owner, and someone may take advantage of the chaos to steal the property of the Jin family. Generally, the rich have a vault made of special materials in their homes. Except for the owner, ordinary people and low-level soul masters cannot break in at all. A wealthy family like the Jin family also has a lot of property outside the treasury. Xiao Han didn't want those properties to fall into the hands of outsiders. The 3 of them rushed to the Jin Mansion as quickly as possible. Sure enough, there was a lot of noise and chaos in the Jin Mansion, with shadowy figures, all hurriedly moving property, hoping to get a share of the chaos. Some of the servants of the Jin Mansion were helpless, while others were greedy, and those outsiders took advantage of the fire to rob, trying to gain benefits in this ownerless land. As soon as the 3 stepped into the gate of the Jin Mansion, they saw this scene. Stop! Xiao Han's voice was like thunder, penetrating the noise and resounding throughout the Jin Mansion. There was a trace of soul power fluctuation in his voice, which made the people present stop their actions involuntarily and turn their heads to look at the young soul master who killed 3 generations of the Jin family with his own strength. Shui Binger and Shen Liuyu followed closely behind, with cold eyes, scanning the surroundings. Although they didn't say anything, their cold temperament was enough to make those with bad intentions feel timid. As everyone knows, Jin Lei lost the bet with me, and now all the property of the Jin family belongs to me. You dare to steal my things, are you looking for death? Xiao Han frowned, his eyes revealed unquestionable majesty. Seeing this, those people were trembling with fear and put down their belongings. Sir, we didn't mean it, please forgive us for once. The people in the Jin Mansion stay, and the rest get out. Xiao Han's eyes became sharp, sweeping towards those outsiders who tried to fish in troubled waters. Those people fled the Jin Mansion in a hurry. The servants of the Jin Mansion were also intimidated by Xiao Han's momentum, and stood obediently in place, waiting for further instructions. Xiao Han looked at the people who stayed behind and asked, "Who among you is the housekeeper of the Jin Mansion?" A middle-aged man came out, bowed and said, "Sir, the housekeeper took Madam Jin away and took away some of the property." "Has the vault been opened?" "Sir, only the master can open the vault." "The master is dead and it has not been opened yet." Xiao Han nodded with relief and continued, "The Jin family has committed many evil deeds and deserves to die. Now that the Jin Mansion has been taken over by me, you still have the indentures in the hands of the Jin family. All of them are invalidated and you are all free. You were all servants of the Jin family and are familiar with everything here. If you are willing to stay and take care of this place with me, I will give you a better treatment. If you don't want to stay, take your property and leave, I will never stop you." Those people looked at each other, at a loss. The middle-aged man stood up again. "Sir, I am willing to stay, sir, I am willing to stay too." Those people felt Xiao Han's kindness and agreed. Xiao Han nodded and looked at the middle-aged man. "Well, from now on, you are the housekeeper here. Arrange someone to clean it up, and then have someone take me to see the treasury." "Yes, sir." Led by a servant, Xiao Han came to the treasury of the mansion. The door of the treasury was closed, and there was no sign of being tampered with. Nothing unusual, the treasury should still be safe. Although the door of the treasury was solid, Xiao Han's soul skills were enough to destroy it. However, he was not in a hurry to take out the treasures now. and would wait until everything was settled. After that, Xiao Han went to Tianjin Pavilion again. After Jin Lei and Jin Xianzhen died last night, Tianjin Pavilion was closed. Witnessing Jin Peng being killed by Xiao Han, the soul masters who relied on the Jin mansion fled in panic. Xiao Han was not interested in doing business. He planned to use the connections of the academy to transform Tianjin Pavilion and create a source of income to avoid heating up all the money. It takes time to do this. However, Xiao Han was not in a hurry. After this incident, the fate of Xianshu College will definitely change. Xiao Han killed 3 generations of the Jin family. The mayor of Xianshu City and the government officials did not dare to ask about it and could only report it to their superiors. The news soon spread to Xiandao City. Chapter 124 Shocking Bibi Dong. Upon learning that Xiao Han had killed the 3 members of the Jin family, Emperor Ziyi was shocked and angry. He dared to kill even a baron, which had a bad influence. This was a blatant disrespect for the majesty of the empire. Jin Ringsu, who was pretending to be the crown prince Zhu King, was also shocked. She didn't expect that in just a few months, Xiao Han's strength would be so terrifying and he would do such a shocking thing. This matter is very serious and involves the interests of many parties. It must be handled with caution. Zhu King asked Emperor Ziyi to handle this matter personally. Emperor Ziyi accepted Zhu King's request. Shrek Academy. Flanders, Liu Erlong and Yu Xiaogang were all shocked when they learned about this. They never expected that Xiao Han's strength would be so terrifying that he could kill Soul Douluo. It is unbelievable that he was promoted from a Soul King to a Soul Saint in just 3 or 4 months. Flanders asked, Xiaogang, isn't Xiao Han's soul power improving too fast? I have some doubts. Can anyone really do this? Yu Xiaogang shook his head and sighed. I don't know how he did it. It completely contradicts the theoretical knowledge I have learned. In less than half a year, he has improved by at least a dozen levels. The first soul ring has completed its transformation, and the 7th soul ring comes from a 100,000-year-old soul beast. What kind of opportunity did he experience to improve so quickly? Yu Xiaogang thought of the fairy grass at the first time. He had heard Tang San say that fairy grass can help soul masters improve their cultivation speed, and the improvement brought by the top-grade fairy grass to soul masters is immeasurable. Is it really because of the fairy grass? Yu Xiaogang suddenly thought of something. Flanders, we haven't seen Senior Douluo for several months, and we don't know how he is now. Flanders frowned. I have a bad feeling. What do you mean? Guangling Douluo rescued Xiao Han from Senior Douluo. Do you think he can escape unscathed? Yu Xiaogang nodded, his expression becoming serious. According to Xiaohan's previous guess, Xiao Han had been to Senior Douluo's secret garden. Xiao Han's strength suddenly became so terrifying. If I'm not mistaken, there are 2 possibilities. One is the change brought about by the top-grade fairy grass. Another possibility is that he quickly improved by absorbing and devouring the soul power of others, just like some evil soul masters in the rumors. Evolution by devouring. Yes. This kind of evil soul master exists, but they don't show it to others easily. Xiao Han's first soul ring has transformed from 100 years to 1,000 years. I have to suspect that he may have mastered this ability. Flanders was shocked. Oh no. If Senior Douluo had been seriously injured by Guangling Douluo before, wouldn't he be in a very dangerous situation? Yes. How about we go to Sunset Forest to have a look? Okay, then. Yu Xiaogang, Flanders and Liu Erlong went to Sunset Forest. The Sunset Forest is 200 miles east of Xiandao City, not far away. The 3 of them soon arrived at the center of the Sunset Forest. They all felt strange when they felt the change in the environment here. The center of the forest used to feel humid and hot, but now it has become particularly refreshing. Moreover, the green scale snake poison formation that Douluo had set up here before has now disappeared. Xiaogang. Something is wrong here, the changes are too big. Yeah, I noticed it too. Did Senior Douluo really get into trouble? It's too early to draw a conclusion. Let's go in and take a look. I hope he is safe and sound. The 3 of them continued to move forward, looking for Douluo's traces in the center of the forest. Flanders soared in the sky, turned on his eagle eyes, and searched carefully. Suddenly, he found a strange mountaintop, which was in the shape of an inverted cone. Under the leadership of Flanders, Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong also came to the mountaintop. Yu Xiaogang's intuition told him that this place was unusual, and it was very likely that the bottom was the valley that Tang San had mentioned. Flanders searched around the top of the inverted cone mountain and found nothing. It seems that Senior Douluo is not here. Well, if he is here, he would have shown up now. Let's go down and take a look. Flanders spread his wings and flew to the bottom of the valley. Liu Erlong followed closely with Yu Xiaogang. When they arrived at the bottom of the valley, the three were stunned by the scene in front of them. It was a mess here, with fallen rocks everywhere. In the center of the valley, there was a bottomless pool with stagnant water. There were many flowers and plants growing around it, some of which had withered, and some survived tenaciously in the cracks of the rocks. Those flowers and plants looked very ordinary, and looked no different from the flowers and plants outside the sunset forest. Yu Xiaogang came to the spring and took a closer look. Could this be the yin-yang eye of ice and fire that Xiao San mentioned? The spring water that nourishes the immortal grass, isn't this just an ordinary spring water? Yu Xiaogang shook his head and sighed. It is indeed an ordinary spring water now, but it should not have been in the past. You can see that there are traces of fighting everywhere here. It is obvious that there was a fierce battle here, and someone deliberately destroyed it. Then Senior Douluo, let's look for it again. The three continued to search at the bottom of the valley and found some scattered bones and clothing fragments in the piles of stones and grass. This seems to be the clothes that Senior Douluo wore. Hey, Senior Douluo may have met with an accident. Yu Xiaogang was extremely heartbroken, wondering who did this. The person who could cross Douluo's green scale snake poison formation, find this place, and cut him into pieces is definitely not an ordinary person. Yu Xiaogang guessed that Douluo's death was very likely related to Xiao Han. If Xiao San knew about this, he would be very sad. Yeah, I don't know where Xiao San is now. Yu Xiaogang also missed Tang San and hoped to see him soon. With an extremely heavy heart, the three left the Sunset Forest Wuhan City, Pope's Palace. Looking at the letter sent from the branch of the Wuhan Palace in Xianshu City, Bibi Dong's expression gradually became distorted. How is this possible? Xiao Han killed 4 soul saints and an 86th level soul Douluo by himself. A 16-year-old soul saint. The first soul ring has transformed from 100 years to 1,000 years, and the 7th soul ring has reached 100,000 years. In just a few months, he has improved so much. What on earth has he experienced? Is he like me, inheriting the gods and challenging the divine test? Xiao Han's growth made Bibi Dong feel unbelievable. Looking at the entire Douluo continent, there has never been a 16-year-old soul saint, and no one has such a heaven-defying soul ring configuration like Xiao Han. If things continue like this, Xiao Han will definitely break the record held by Bibi Dong and become the youngest titled Douluo on Douluo continent. Bibi Dong is wary of Xiao Han's growth. He already has Guangling Douluo protecting him, so it will be even harder to get rid of him. Fortunately, Xiao Han killed someone from the Heaven Dao Empire. A smug smile appeared on Bibi Dong's face. Xiao Han is even more arrogant than Tang Hao. Well done. Just fight among yourselves. The more people die, the better. Ho ha ho ha. Chapter 125 Jinring Su's Visit. Knowing that Xiao Han was willing to kill the 3 members of the Jin family, for Shen Liuyu, Shui Yuir, Zhu Wu, and Yu Heraoao returned to the academy to help Xiao Han deal with the follow-up affairs. These days, Xiao Han was very busy. He moved into the Jin mansion and changed it to the Xiao mansion. The original Jin family was worthy of being the richest family in Xianshu City. Xiao Han opened the treasury in the mansion, and the gold and silver treasures inside were piled up like mountains. Tianjin Pavilion was renamed Xianshu Pavilion and reopened, controlled by Xiao Han and Xianshu College. In the future, Xianshu College will be self-sufficient and will not have to worry about funding issues. On this day, Xiao Han called the sisters to his house for a gathering. Sisters, you have all worked hard these past few days. Xiao Han, that's too polite. Although we have all graduated, our friendship is lifelong. Sister Hiro is right. This time you stood up for Liu Yu and destroyed the evil Jin family. It was really a relief. Shen Liuai looked at Xiao Han and said, Xiao Han, thank you for everything you have done for me. If His Majesty blames me, all the blame will be borne by me alone. Shen Liuai knew that Xiao Han had caused such a big commotion in Xianshu City, and His Majesty would definitely hold him accountable. Xiao Han smiled disapprovingly. Sister Liu Yu, don't worry. Since I did it, I will stick to it to the end. The bet is written in black and white. What can they do to me? Xiao Han is right. If His Majesty really wants to punish us, we will stand with Xiao Han. Yes, we have the entire Xianshu College behind us. The girls nodded one after another, indicating that they would support Xiao Han. Xiao Han continued, "Senior sisters, I called you here for another important matter." "What is it?" "I got another soul bone," Xiao Han said, and took out the soul bone. Looking at the soul bone with a faint golden glow, the girls were very curious. "Xiao Han, is this a left leg soul bone?" "Well, the quality of this left leg soul bone is not bad. It should come from a soul beast with a cultivation of about 20,000 years. It can improve speed and attack power." "Then how did you get it?" "During the battle with Jin Peng, I found that his left leg suddenly flashed, so I guessed that there was a soul bone in it. When I killed him, I took the opportunity to collect this soul bone." "Xiao Han, you are really lucky. You got another soul bone so quickly." Xiao Han smiled. "I said that I would do my best to arrange soul bones for each of you. So, this soul bone is for you, for us." Several people felt incredible. At this moment, Xiao Han had to face another difficult choice. The 3 soul bones awarded by the Soul Master competition were fused by him, Shui Binger and Shui Yuir. Zuwu, Yu Harao, Gu Qingbo, Shen Liuayu and Chu Rushu did not have soul bones yet. The eyes of several people gathered on Gu Qingbo at the same time. Although this left leg soul bone is suitable for all types of soul masters, it is undoubtedly more suitable for Gu Qingbo, who is a sensitive attack type. Last time, Gu Qingbo took the initiative to give the left leg soul bone to Shui Yuir. Gu Qingbo understood what everyone meant, took Shen Liuayu's arm, and smiled. "Xiao Han, this soul bone should be given to Liuayu." That bastard surnamed Jin made Liuayu worried for a while, even if it is the compensation from their Jin family to her. "No. It is more suitable for Sister Qingbo, I can't have it." Seeing the two of them pushing each other, Xiao Han didn't know what to do. Shui Binger said, "Qingbo, although you have good intentions, soul bones can only play a greater role in the right soul master. Otherwise, you should accept this soul bone, and if there is a suitable one in the future, give it to Liuayu." Binger is right. I didn't lose much in this matter. Besides, the money Xiao Han gave me from the treasury will never be spent in this lifetime. I am already very satisfied that the Jin family has such retribution. Seeing Shen Liuayu's firm attitude, Xiao Han handed the soul bone to Gu Qingbo. "Sister Qingbo, then you can keep it." "Okay. Thank you, Xiao Han." Xiao Han looked at the others and said, "Senior sisters, I will arrange soul bones for you in the future when there is a chance." As soon as Xiao Han finished speaking, he heard the sound of horse hooves outside the door. Under the escort of the royal knights, Zhu King came to Xianshu City. At this time, he had arrived at the gate of the Xiao mansion. The guard at the gate hurried into the mansion to report. "Sir, there is a group of people at the door, saying that His Royal Highness the Crown Prince is visiting." "Okay, I'll go out right away." Xiao Han's face was calm, as if he had already expected Zhu King's arrival. Shui Binger said with some concern, "His Royal Highness the Crown Prince is visiting Xianshu City in person. It seems that His Majesty attaches great importance to this matter." "Don't worry, it will be fine. You can go to the house first to accompany Sister Qingbo to absorb the soul bone." "Okay." Several people entered the house. Afterwards, Xiao Han went out alone to greet Zhu King. The two looked at each other, and without saying anything, they understood each other tacitly. After entering the mansion, Zhu King did not ask for accusations at first. She was more interested in Xiao Han's experience in the past few months. "Brother Xiao Han, I already know a little about what you did. Have you really reached the Soul Saint level and possessed a 100,000-year soul ring as the rumors say?" "Yes, I didn't expect that you have improved so much in just a few months. It's hard to imagine how you did it. I'm curious about what you have experienced during this period. Can you tell me?" "Of course. I'm just about to tell you a good news. Douluo is dead. He was killed by me and my mother." Hearing this, Zhu King was surprised and happy. "What? You killed Douluo?" "Yes." Then, Xiao Han told Zhu King about how he and Lin Zhiruo killed Douluo in the center of Sunset Forest. Zhu King felt incredible after hearing this. "Douluo's existence is always a huge threat to you. It's better to kill him. It's too risky for you to do that, but fortunately you did it." "Well, fortunately Douluo was injured by the teacher before, otherwise my mother and I would have no chance of winning." Zhu King nodded slightly, secretly happy. Douluo was a titled Douluo after all. As a guest of Prince Zuxing, he supported the fourth Prince Zhu Bang and was a potential enemy of Zhu King. His death not only weakened the power of Zhu Bang, but also weakened the strength of the Xiandao Empire, which was extremely beneficial to the plan to seize the power of the Xiandao Empire. Zhu King then asked, "Your soul power has increased so much at once. Is it related to Du Yubo's death?" "Somewhat." Xiao Han believed that Jin Ringsu was a trustworthy person. Next, he told Zhu King about how he obtained the Dragon Ball at the bottom of the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, killed the 100,000-year soul beast in the frozen forest, and killed the dark demon evil god tiger. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.